Live?
I'm proud.
Live.
Oh, we got audio echoes.
Oh, God.
Okay, you guys.
Over here, take.
Hello. Oh, there I am.
And we have sound.
So, as I was saying, 9/11 was an inside job.
Was it?
Was it now? Where's that thing that I've
No.
read? Oh, you put it in posture.
I never really subscribed to that theory all that much.
Oh, you got to read that
I
intro.
do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
Just about.
Okay, just a quick run up to what this is. My grandpa said this the other day. He couldn't remember all the words, so he had me find it. And so I found it. And it's about a meeting of some dogs. And it explains a phenomenon that even science doesn't really get. So here we go. The dogs once held a meeting. They came from near and far. They came by helicopter and others came by car. And so inside the city hall, no one dared to look as each dog took off its asshole and hung it on a hook. There they were, sitting there, father, son, and sire, sitting round and looking round when someone shouted, "Fire!" Up they got and out they ran without no time to look. They snatched the nearest asshole off the nearest hook. And so, my friend, sometimes you see your doggy leave his bone to sniff another dog's asshole. He's just trying to find his own.
I like that one.
I do too. It's fantastic. It explains to me why every time a dog comes across another dog, even if they've just seen that other dog, if that dog walked out of sight, it goes over to sniff the asshole because he's looking for his own. I think.
Is this my asshole?
Is this mine?
Is this my ass?
Is this my ass? Is this my ass?
So
Do you have my ass?
When I get a wet nose up my fanny, I'm like, whoa, that's a human asshole. I never took it off. I never hung it on a hook. I took the time to look.
Yeah.
I love those little rhymes, though.
No, it's very Seussian.
No, it's too long to be a limerick.
Oh.
That one's a full-on poem.
I see. What is so limericks are the
It's got to be like 5 lines, like a nasty
once
old
was a
whore
man
named
from
Sue filled up her
Nantucket.
pussy with glue when she said with a grin, they pay to get in, they'll pay to get out of it too. That one's a limerick.
Wow.
It's got to be quick. And
that was good. That's really wow. All right, I'm hanging on to that one. I like that.
That one's my favorite.
That's good.
So there's a couple things that are special about tonight. Pizza, for one.
Yeah.
That's
Which we're going to start right in on the ASMR here pretty quickly. But I teased this at one point and I was like, and so I started doing a little bit of research, but I don't remember, like, I was going through like old intros and I have some that I know what I'm looking for, but there's others that like will be a surprise to me. Some of them are going to be short. Some of them will be cringe.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm sure most of them will be
I was
cringe.
going to say some.
But
most of them will be cringe. There's some funny ones in there though.
It's odd how much
I'm
better
interested.
the lighting is too. Like we look better on the screen. Those little covered lights
Do
there,
you think
they
that
make us look unhealthy.
Do you think it's? See, I feel like you're washed out.
I wouldn't say
that
that
way.
we're washed out, but the white levels are a lot harsher
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot more
Right.
contrast. I wouldn't say that we look washed out, but yeah.
I always think we look sickly
Do you?
when those are on. Yeah.
I don't
Those-
want to mess with it, but because I'd have to hit the switch over there.
Well, I look sickly.
Okay. The only reason I did it is because you can see the light bleeding through the sheet behind you,
Oh.
but that's not
Oh
really.
yeah, you can.
That's negligible.
I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
Yeah. So the gangbang that you rented the rest of the shop out for, we'll just see a little bit of shadows.
Just a little bit of
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're quiet.
They are. I'm surprised.
It's on this
You've really
side,
done a
right?
good job.
Little
And
dicks
and those
talking
porn
about-
people pay
Right,
quite a bit,
right.
and they pay in cash.
or cocaine.
Well, what do you say we get
Anyway,
some pizza?
Yeah, I was gonna say it smells so good.
All right, we're gonna go get pizza.
We're gonna get pizza. This
And
is this. I'll you guys
authentic
go ahead, help
Mexican
yourself.
soda.
I'll talk a little bit.
All
We'll
right, Ron, get started.
I'll
I'll keep him entertained, then I'll go get some, and then we can keep each other entertained while he
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
some. And then they're not left in the lurch.
yeah. So this first clip I'll play real quick.
Oh dear.
And we've got others. We'll talk about other stuff throughout the course of the show. So this isn't all it's about. So don't tune out because, but
not
and there's some
just
good
old
stuff
intros.
coming up. But
But
this first clip is I play because it includes a reference to Surf Shimmy. This was the very first episode that I did with Derek, and we played with that intro music right at the beginning, and unanimously decided that we weren't going to use it. And so,
you vetoed
And here we
Surf
are.
Shimmy,
and then I
and
think
here
by
we are
like
still using
episode 14, it kicked in as like the main intro. But so here's that.
Fuck.
You're listening to Basement Boys 2.0. Now turn it up.
So I should probably just hit record so we can kind of.
No, that's a good idea. Just never surf shimmy.
never
really.
Surf Shimmy.
All right.
How close to Pizza Hut crust is this?
Should
And
we
then-
sample it now? I think it's better than Pizza Hut crust. Personal opinion. I like Pizza Hut's hand tossed.
It reminds me a lot of Papa Murphy's.
There is some Papa Murphy's.
Definitely. Consistency, mouthfeel,
Yeah.
other words that wine drinkers use. Yeah.
There are some earthy tones,
You know
and
which
it's got a frizzy finish.
the crust I would like
Splashy.
most to clone would be the Costco crust.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good ass pizza. This is good ass pizza for what it's worth. Like,
Thank you.
yeah.
So
damn.
we know this is like a pre
Yeah, it's like a 0.5.
0.5, yeah. That was our 0.5 episode. And then we titled it Surf Shimmy. I think we teased it during the show. But anyway, so that was just kind of the a one to whet your appetite. Then I think we do some really kind of, and these are brief cold opens.
It's just like never surf shimmy. And
Never
here
Surf
we
Shimmy.
are.
Here, still with Surf Shimmy.
Still
We close with it now. So that's one thing.
That's true.
I see what you're saying. I do. I get your point. I understand exactly what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I mean, the guy I feel sorry for in this whole thing is Harvey Weinstein.
You know?
Are we live?
Oh no.
We're live?
Hashtag me too.
Okay, so that one's lame.
I liked his role as the villain in Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yes. That's totally what he
What a-
was. That,
What a heavy-handed
No shit.
fucking
Yeah. That was real
homage that
subtle
was.
as a brick to the head.
and
You
shit,
can't hit me because my pheromones make you like, okay.
Okay.
Good movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I
I
enjoyed the movie,
really want to be kind of a foster parent, I think,
Oh, cool.
because I want to be like able to, damage other kids just like I do my own. I think it'd be fun.
Well,
Fuck.
Emotional damage, I think, is like the cornerstone.
The show is so much more chipper
dream
now.
big, Ward.
but yeah, wow.
This, for everybody's reference, this was before my time.
Coming out hot with the Harvey Weinstein and child abuse. Like, yeah,
I really
we've
wanna
really turned a
damage some
corner
kids
now.
that aren't mine.
We've
Really?
yeah.
Go work at the Boys and Girls Club.
it's emotional damage, not physical damage.
Oh God, yeah.
I just really hope
Physical,
really
heals
hope that we
too
don't
fast.
ever.
I listened to that one. It's not.
No, man,
Gotta
it's
leave
cool
those scars
seeing
that nobody
your
can see.
heroes, turn into pieces of shit. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. I really like everyone I've ever respected just coming out as just a dog turd. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing. I love it. I love people that I respect doing their field coming out as a masturbator who won't let somebody leave a room. That's
Oh,
he-
is he talking about Louis?
I was going to say
Yeah,
that's
Louis-
about
that's a
Louis.
Louis C.K.
And
one.
he
No.
didn't even not let that girl leave the room. She just didn't.
I
She
just-
didn't understand it was an option.
It has been a long time since I've heard Derek's voice.
Mm.
I'm just realizing that while I don't remember the last time I saw him. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Here's one. This one's stupid, but it's worth playing. For
So I caught myself saying something to myself today.
You caught yourself saying something.
Um,
Derek sounds riveted. Mhm.
He's riveted.
I said I was up in the kitchen and I noticed the bunch of bananas that were sitting there, and I like, oh, I gotta eat a banana before they go bad. Nobody wants a bad banana.
I
I
hate
said
you
that
so
out
much
loud to
right now.
myself. To myself.
I hate you so
So
much right
there's the
now.
little part of me inside that's like there's that conscience, like I've got multiple consciences.
yeah.
Like the one guy that's sitting there making fun of me, like,
Yeah.
you're so gay. And
Oh,
then
that's
the
not
other guy
that's
like,
that's not acceptable.
This
I
has,
know.
been, this has been my
Yeah.
favorite one so
cool,
far.
buddy.
This is fucking hilarious.
it's cool.
It's cool.
But welcome to the Basement Boys.
Free
2
floating
podcast.
conscious thought
This is
from
episode-
Ward of like, I was standing in the kitchen and I just kind of started making up a rhyme to myself, and here we are.
I saw a bunch of
That's
bananas
fucking
and decided to rhyme about bananas in my head.
That was maybe it's because I'm me, but
Should-
that really tickled my funny bone. That was
Probably
a
head
good
over
one.
to the kitchen and shove a banana in your ass for that. Like, oh, sorry. You just got a payback for
That was
past
funny.
ward. That was terrible.
Nobody wants about a banana.
Nobody wants that.
So here we're about 17
So mean.
episodes deep, and this is when we decided to bring on Surf Shimmy.
Mm.
I don't think it is.
what's the song that we used for the beginning?
Surf Shimmy.
Is it Summon the Rock or Ready Aim Fire?
I think it's Ready Aim Fire.
Oh, okay, I found it here.
It's Surf Shimmy though.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Surfing USA, bro.
Hang loose. What? All right, that's enough of that.
Oh man. Who was that?
That's Mindy Van Horn.
Oh, it was Mindy.
It's
Yeah.
this one.
It's this one.
I went on a wine tasting tour with Mindy the other day.
I saw that.
She's fucking great. I love her.
Yeah, I've known Mindy for 20 some years.
And we have such a similar sense of humor in a lot of ways. It's great.
I'm ready for you to be ready.
This is where the Surf Shimmy came for the first time, episode 18.
This makes me want to shoot Marvin in the face.
My favorite part of this keeps repeating.
Makes you want to shoot Marvin in the face. That's a Pulp Fiction reference.
They're doing those old like 50s surf videos.
Oh, it sounds like they're laughing that little.
Are they Pry Top? Oh, that's
Whoa, dude, don't forget to hit that toad snarl wave. You might be buzzkill, bruh. I hope there aren't any minorities around here because I feel like that's how they were.
Mandarin orange.
So they're like,
Jarritos.
surfing's cool as long as there isn't any blacks around. And you're like, whoa, this is a really racist movie.
Welcome to
was this
Basement
made?
Boys
1950?
2.
All right.
Yeah.
See, now this is the kind of soda I can get behind. Though.
Where
this
the
has
fuck has this
fucking-
been all my life?
This has nothing in it. That's why, yeah.
77 cents
Dude,
a bottle.
ingredients: carbonated water, sugar, natural flavor, citric acid, sodium benzoate,
As a
and
preservative.
color. That's it. This is just fucking. This is the sugar water.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's got. Wow. Where is that Red Bull can?
I've never.
Dude.
You'd never had it until tonight?
Nope. I've seen it in every Mexican restaurant ever.
And this shit's got more sugar in it than Red Bull.
Oh yeah. Well, the size difference. You got a
Well, yeah, but I mean,
8.4.
you got an extra 4 ounces, but you've got 36 grams of sugar, including 36 additional grams of sugar, whereas this Red Bull
Including
can has
36
27. Include like,
nope. I got a 12-ounce Red Bull here.
oh, do you?
It's 38 grams.
Oh, is it? Oh, they've got them beat.
Yep. This
Well,
is 35 to
Just barely,
12.5.
though. Just barely. Step
This
up your
is,
fucking game, Jarritos.
this is going to be my new bottle that I buy.
Oh, yeah?
Mm.
Because I
For
can
your
bottle
beers?
in these.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I
won't
discussed
throw
it.
away.
I discussed it with Chris prior to the show on what was it? Was it Sunday that we had the brunch thing that we went to?
Yeah.
And I said, you know, if the pizza that he makes from scratch is fucking half as good as the beer he makes from scratch, then we are all in for a treat. And you did not disappoint, man. That is some good ass pizza.
Hells yeah, that's delish.
It turned out
Where
all
did you
right.
get that paper towel?
I was hanging off a little doodad right below the pizza.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
yeah,
folks.
Shit, this is really good too. Yeah.
I got you covered.
Yeah, this
Man's
is really
got all
good.
his bases covered.
Yeah, the Jarritos?
Yeah. How do we pronounce that?
Jarritos.
Jarritos?
Jarritos.
Jarritos.
Give me some Jarritos
Some
with those
Jarritos.
Doritos. No.
Hey,
it's-
Jarritos Ghostbusters preview. Also Walmart
What?
and PS5. Did you not watch the new Ghostbusters preview today?
No.
Like many Sony movies before it, it is very heavy on the product placement. But yeah, it actually, the trailer itself ends with an ad for PS5.
Really?
Like
Really?
not as in like a YouTube ad, but as in like the last 10 seconds of this 2.5 minute video are an ad for PS5.
Well,
It-
and it's not like people aren't buying them as soon as they're on the shelves.
Right. It doesn't look bad.
There's
The-
not
the
much
PS5?
different to that trailer.
No,
though.
the PS5 looks great. The Ghostbusters trailer.
They didn't do much more to it besides throw in some Janine and
Ray.
they worked in that Ray
And
at the end of it.
a little more Paul Rudd, but
Yeah, they worked in the marshmallow guy
so
clip.
Mm.
yeah.
The Stay Puft clip.
I will totally watch it. The original Ghostbusters is penguin bouncing on your bull snout. Okay, Matthew, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Have you,
Son, are you having a stroke?
drug tested him?
Are you okay? No, I haven't. No, so I firmly believe that the original Ghostbusters movie, I probably discussed it on here in the past, is one of not many films that I consider to be truly perfect in terms of what it sets out to do and how it does what it sets out to do.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
perfectly execute what they're doing.
Yeah, there's nothing that I could really think of from an analytical standpoint of like, oh, I would have liked it if they'd done this differently, or I would have, it's a really
they should
phenomenal
have.
movie.
There's none
But-
of that. You don't
no,
walk
not
out
at
of it
all.
being like, that was great, but they should have done this.
And it's exceptionally good at having its cake and eating it too, because I remember watching it as a kid and having scenes, especially the second one more so than the first one, but even in the first one as a kid, there were still scenes that made me laugh because they were silly. There were scenes that really genuinely like scared me at times.
It's a legitimately
Um,
scary movie at points.
Yeah, and that whole intro scene in the library is really, really effective. It's really well done. But then watching it as an adult now, like when I was a kid, I had absolutely no idea that Ray was getting a fucking beej from the ghost. Like I didn't put that together.
No.
So it's really effective at being an actual like family movie where everyone of every age gets something out of it.
And Ray gets head from a ghost.
Yeah.
So everyone wins.
But there's this weird, and I've seen it discussed.
Bill Murray actually like breaks the fourth wall in that movie a lot without actually breaking the fourth wall.
Mm. Yeah,
He's
there's-
actually exceptional at that skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He speaks to the audience without ever making it seem like he's really directly speaking to the audience. I like Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think his whole shit don't stink, he can do no wrong kind of reputation that he's cultivated over the last 15 or 20 years. I don't entirely agree with that.
Right.
Some of the stuff he's done, especially some of the stuff with Wes Anderson, I've thought is really stupid.
Oh
and kinda
yeah,
up
Royal
its own ass.
Tenenbaums is garbage.
Yeah, I don't
Fucking
know.
Steve Zissou is
Not
garbage.
not my thing. But
Garbage.
I liked Tenenbaums, but
there's
that said, there's stuff I've gone back with, like the Wes Anderson movies and rewatched. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, eh.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's.
I
I don't know how well they hold up. Like they hold up to a younger
yeah,
version of me
Yeah.
that was looking at it through a different
the
lens.
age that we
Yeah.
were when they were like when Rushmore came out,
Uh-huh.
it spoke to people of that age group.
Right.
While
Very,
they were that
you know,
age.
while
group.
they were that age group, yeah. But I saw it discussed on a couple like Reddit discussion things in regards to the Ghostbusters trailer. Go back, and if you want to waste the time to do it because I did it. There's a lot of similarities between this trailer for Ghostbusters and the first trailer for The Force Awakens, where there's this just like reverential nostalgia of how was it that
See, I'm not immune to nostalgia boners,
No,
but
not
I
at all.
resent them. Like every time I get one, I'm like, is it nostalgia or shame? Where's this boner coming from? Because I don't like it. I don't like being made to feel something because it feels very false.
Right. Well, it's like the snowball that has been the ever-growing hate for the new trilogy. So
Yeah.
is it because it came from that nostalgia piece of it, and then as more time passes, you're like, man, I don't know if I like it as much as I liked it before.
Well, and I'll watch the older movies, and I'm just kind of like, they're not that great.
One of the guys that is on YouTube on Red Letter Media that I'm a big fan of. He tweeted this earlier today in response to the new Ghostbusters trailer, and he sums it up about as effectively as I could. The new Ghostbusters doesn't look bad or anything, but it's so weird that the marketing angle is to play up your nostalgia for it's some sort of alternate Spielbergian version of the original movie that never existed.
Right.
Like they really, like when they lift the ghost trap thing out from underneath the floorboards, and it's like, oh.
I know, it's like they're pulling out a lightsaber.
Yeah, and somebody
Like,
makes the comment of like, I was half expecting like, you know, Ray or one of the other characters to show up in the trailer and be like, it's real, all of it, like just like on Solo, because it has a very, very similar vibe.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters is not that.
No,
Right,
it
at
never
all.
was.
No,
that.
it never was.
It's a great
Well,
snapshot of the early 80s, mid 80s.
It's
'Cause
the
it was
ultimate
80
blue collar movie.
Because it's your age, isn't it? It came out in
84,
84, didn't it?
I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, 84.
So
it's as old as I am.
it's a great
Because the sequel was what, like 86? or
89.
89.
Was it really 5
Yeah, it was
years?
5 years later.
Fuck.
Because it starts with a big stamp 5 years later.
Fuck.
But, you know, and the sequel isn't as bad as the hate it got. It's
No,
not
it's just
a perfect movie like the first one.
yeah.
But it's also not like offensive to watch.
No, it's not nearly as bad as the shit that it gets, and it's a lot better than the 2016 one.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed the sequel. I thought it was
Vigo the Carpathian was great,
Yeah.
but he wasn't an existential threat like Gozer.
No,
And I think that's the only thing that really brought it down for me.
he was
Like
a lot
it's
more.
just a haunted painting. Like that should have
Yeah.
been the first one, and Gozer should have been the second one, just because you ramp things up in the sequel. And they didn't have anywhere to go because they had some ancient Babylonian god sitting on churches in New York City. Like you can't top that.
Yeah,
That's the tip top. And so I don't know. They went up against
but I guess
an old wizard's ghost, and that's
From-
cool too.
from what I've seen, I guess Dan Aykroyd, who, as I'm sure you know, is super into
Oh yeah,
all of that kind of stuff, ghosts and UFOs and all that shit.
Like he just pulled that sponge migration thing out of his ass because he knew about it.
it's way up his alley. And I
Well,
guess he's
his
been
family has been that.
yeah,
like-
he's been very actively, like he was the driving force behind the original movie.
Right.
Yeah,
And apparently he's been the dring force behind getting this movie made for as long as he's been trying to get
since
it made.
1990.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When did Coneheads come out? He probably really dove into it after Coneheads.
Yeah, he had to take a break to eat some
but,
Subway.
Yeah. And that kind of passion comes through in
Yeah.
people's projects. So I don't know. And
Jason Reitman's directing it.
yeah,
So
like
there's-
there's a lot of good quality talent in front of and behind the camera that
Yeah.
I'll totally watch it.
Me too.
And I'm not
I'll probably go see it in the theater.
I'm sure I will. And I'm not.
We should probably take our sons to it together.
I was going to say we probably should do that. I don't have the like trepidation for it.
I'm not going in with big expectations.
No.
And I don't think anybody should. I
No.
think they should go to see a movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into it with
That's
Captain
based-
Marvel level
but-
expectations.
See, no, I had lower.
And that still disappointed me.
I
I
had-
didn't have any expectations.
I had comparatively, I would say, lower expectations for Captain Marvel than I do for this. But normally, most of these things that come out that are, you know, reboots or sequels or seboots or reprequels or, you know, whatever they wind up being, where they're just piggybacking off of a known IP,
Yeah.
I'm usually really, really apprehensive about. And this one, I don't feel quite as much.
Yeah.
For
I'm not
love
I'm
Paul
not
Rudd.
angry
That
that they're
helps.
doing it.
Right.
And Paul Rudd's worth seeing every time you see him.
Yeah.
He's just one of those dudes. You're like,
I
oh, good,
really
Paul
like
Rudd is in
Paul
this.
Rudd
At least
a
I'll be
lot.
entertained. He always plays the same dude. I mean, his Ant-Man is no different than his dude from the pregnancy movie.
So the kids are obviously the focal point. Carrie Coon's character is Egon's daughter. She brings the family back to the old family farm.
And I'm guessing
Bets
that's
on-
Janine and Egon's kid.
I'm assuming so,
It'd
unless
have to
maybe
be.
Egon and Janine never really did.
Never finished hooking up.
Yeah. And,
She-
you know,
Because
she
she
has
ended up
a
with
scene.
Rick Moranis in the second one.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
start, yeah. Bets
If
on
they're
whether or not Paul
Janine
Rudd
Melnitz
ends up
from my
being
staff.
either possessed or the vessel. Paul Rudd ends up as the bad guy. Thoughts?
Probably.
Mm,
Because
I don't
they can't do it with Sigourney Weaver again.
Mm-mm.
She did that.
Yeah.
The baby did it in the second one. Well, the baby and Janosch.
I mean, unless they have.
And how about Peter McNichol?
Let's say
What a
what's his
fucking
face from-
home run that performance is
Dude,
from
oh,
start
He's
to
so
finish.
perfect
Eagle.
in that movie. He's so perfect in that movie. Like, he's good in a lot of shit, but
Oh,
he is.
Command me, Lord.
you know, and
Usually, when you see people choose scenery like that, it doesn't work out well. But man, he just fucking
he
owned it.
nails it.
well, and speaking of like women playing big components in a movie, that was in 1984, and Sigourney Weaver was playing the villain,
Mhm.
Yeah.
basically.
But she got a pass from the 70s on. Like, she was one of those.
She
She was an upfront, could sell movies woman.
Yeah,
there are
dude.
people who went to see that movie because
Right.
Sigourney Weaver was
Yeah.
in it. Because she had
Alien.
at least one
Yeah.
Alien movie under her belt,
Yeah.
maybe two. But Ellen Ripley is an absolute fucking icon. And that
I was-
was 50, almost
I
50
was
years ago.
talking to Tori the other day. That was
No, it
my initial
42.
vote.
40.
My initial vote for Annabelle's name was Ripley.
As a first name?
Mhm.
Not like Ellen Ripley Warner.
Mm-mm. No,
Weird.
no. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad we
Me
didn't.
too.
I'm glad we didn't go with it.
I like the Haunted Doll one better.
Um,
Mine's named after a dream demon, apparently.
I really wanted to name Matthew Rowland, and I've banged that drum. Excuse me, real fucking hard because for one, gunslinger. For two, it's literally an anagram of my name,
It is.
which is cool as fuck in
Yeah.
my opinion.
You're doing the third without doing the third.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, sorry, I got us off topic with the Ghostbusters preview. I apologize.
That's all right.
I don't do transitional material very well, but it just came out this morning, and I watched it, and I was interested to get your guys' take on it.
Well, this is what we're here for, though. We're doing
We're
Just-
just eating pizza.
just
tonight.
free floating.
pizza, free flow.
It's cool, but I don't like Roland.
No, I like Matthew better too.
You might have dug
I-
it if it was your name, though.
and
If you grew up with
when
it, it
you-
might be different.
when you get a little bit older and you can read the Gunslinger books, you'll understand why Roland is such a badass.
I remember at one point, I turned on Netflix. This was probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, because Mars wasn't very old, and on Netflix there was a movie called Mara, and there was a movie called Annabelle, and I was like, oh shit,
Mara.
yeah. It was only on there for a little while, and it was one of those ones with it was a schlocky horror
Shitty
movie.
horror movie.
Where the sleep paralysis demon was getting people, and the sleep paralysis demon name was Mara. It was awesome.
2018 film. Ooh, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the Taskmaster is in it.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never stayed awake through it.
She was the lead. A criminal
movie that makes you-
psychologist investigates the mysterious strangling death of a man in his bed. She soon meets members of a community who tell her about a centuries-old demon that kills people in their sleep. Huh.
That's my daughter, folks. No.
All right. I like her. Olga
My daughter?
Kurylenko. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, she's
I love her. I like Olga Kurylenko. She was what was that fucking
Quantum of
sleazy
Solace.
hitman-y movie that she was in?
Quantum of Solace.
No.
He's a sleazy hitman, though, for the British intelligence.
God, now I can't remember what it was.
One of my
I
best
feel like it
jokes.
was a Mark.
Fell flat on you, too.
I feel like it was Mark Wahlberg was in it. What movie were you in, young lady?
Shooter.
I love Shooter.
No,
that was
Hitman
That was
with Timothy
Timothy
Oliphant.
Oliphant, yeah.
Yeah, she was the
but Shooter had a Mara in it too.
yeah, because
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara. Yeah. Man, that's a weird 6 degrees of separation right there.
I know.
That was a shit movie, but I really enjoyed it. Timothy Oliphant's the man.
Hitman? I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
I saw something about it the other day because I guess it came out 5 years ago or 10 years ago or something.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
And he did it for something. He did it to pay for a house or something.
For money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was the Michael Caine thing.
The Michael Caine.
Like I haven't seen
I haven't
Jaws 4,
seen it,
but I
but
have
the
swam
house-
in the pool that it bought.
House that it bought.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
All right. So here, this one will need this is where we started writing intros. Most of the intros are written by me. If I'm not reading them,
Serious?
if I'm not reading them or Siri isn't reading them, or if Siri's reading them, they're written by me. If Derek's reading them, they're written by me. If I'm reading them, they're written by Derek.
If a grandpa had the name Reich and then a son and a grandson and named them both Reich, the grandkid would be the third Reich.
My nephew, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Love it.
That's a whooping when your dad gets
I love you, son. That was honestly kind of impressive. I was really wondering where you were going with it. So yeah, good.
The only Reich I know is Wilhelm Reich.
Set up punchline. That not bad, kiddo. Not bad.
The tip top of Reichian therapy.
So let's
All right.
So this was written by.
This would have been, if Derek's reading it, it's written by me
Okay.
or Siri.
Tonight's episode, we're joined by Andy King. We discuss what exactly all the clamor was about over Leroy Brown. Was it that he took up residence in the south side of Chicago, the baddest part of town? Or perhaps his large stature, as he stood about 6'4". There's no question. That was a good one. I've read this. There's no question that he was a homewrecker, but some have even argued his custom Continental and his Eldorado that made the ladies wet, though they were many displeased with the reckless behavior when it came to his .32 caliber handgun and heaping pocket full of bullets. We discuss this, plus Ward's camper acquisition tonight on Basement Boys.
Is that camper that's right out there?
Yes.
You
Too
bought that
bad
one.
he couldn't get through it without laughing because that was actually pretty fucking funny.
I'd like to hear
Like,
Siri read that, honestly.
Yeah,
Or
I'll have
Rick.
to.
I'd give it a go. I that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones.
There is a speaking of Siri, there's a really, really terrible movie. What is it? Vampire Assassin, I think. I don't know if
How could that possibly be terrible?
I don't think Tori is watching. Yeah, Vampire Assassin, starring Ron Hall and Gerald Okamura and Mel Novak.
Ron Hall was the
And
undersheriff
Rudy
when I
Ray
worked at
Moore.
the sheriff's office.
But there's
Called him Wrong Hole.
there's a character in the movie. Gosh, is it? Oh, it looks like it might be on Prime. Maybe not. There's a character in the movie, and she is played by this Asian woman named Mary Everest, who plays the character Samantha Morris. And I don't know if it's her doing it on purpose, but look it up. You can find it on YouTube. It sounds like they redubbed all of her dialogue with Siri.
Really?
Yeah, like it's really weird and it's super monotone. And she's just like, I am investigating these reservations, and I was looking into this. Like you can. The very first time that I saw it, they were joking about that fact. So then they refed her dialogue through Siri and played it next to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn close.
It's real close.
I just sent that script. You can read it. It's in our chat.
Is it because she's speaking English the whole time?
I don't know, but man.
That's funny.
Do a quick check on the YouTubes for it because it's really funny.
Right now?
Okay.
No.
On this episode, we're joined by special guest Andy King. We discuss what exactly all the clamor was over Leroy Brown. Was it that he took up residence in the south side of Chicago, the baddest part of town, or perhaps his large stature as he stood about 6'4"? There's no question he was a homewrecker, but some have even argued it's his custom Continental and his Eldorado that made the ladies wet. There were many displeased with his reckless behavior when it came to his .32 caliber handgun and heaping pocket full of bullets. We discuss this, plus Ward's camper acquisition tonight on Basement Boys.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the razor in his shoe.
The what?
The razor in his
The what?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's still time to rewrite.
Yeah. Tic-tac that back to being young and dumb and still having the name Basement Boys. You weren't here yet. You weren't where you are now. And you have to forgive younger you.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I argue with old people about children all the time.
Here's another one.
On this episode, we're joined by special guest Rick Huddleston, where we talk about the Netflix series Glow. Spoiler alert, I loved it. Also, we discuss the efficacy of finger cots and their use in food service industry. Is their smaller size and resemblance to condoms intimidating to men? Why don't I read these before? Or does no one over the age of 17 give a shit? We also talk about the efficacy of the word efficacy. This introduction, God damn it, is Ward a douche for using it? We're off to the horse races with Basement Boys. Woo!
Got my Minji look.
That
was a good
That
one.
was really funny.
I think we should go back
We
to that.
discussed the
Writing
efficacy.
intros? I would love to do
We
that.
discussed
Go
the
for it.
efficacy of the word efficacy, and God damn it.
Ron and I can take turns reading them.
Yeah, man.
Or we can let Siri
I
do
would
it.
totally, yeah.
Or wait, what's my phone?
We should all
system
write
called?
them.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Just
On
intermittently.
this episode of Da Boys, we're joined by me, Andrew K., the Sports Kang. Tonight, Kang. There's a lot of Asian.
Kang!
That's okay. That's good. Tonight we talk about our favorite quilting stitch patterns. We find out who's a free spirit and likes the free loop pattern, and who quilts just like they life. Okay.
That's right.
On the straight and narrow. Also, Joanne Fabrics isn't the only place to find the best pricing on batting bitches. This and so much more today on the Basement Boys.
I don't like his voice.
I didn't want to say it.
It's
but,
Andrew. It's Andy.
I
I
feel
don't
bad.
know Andrew, but
he has a voice for TV.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. This is the sound of a finger inside me.
Whoa.
Oh, it's an ASMR tease.
God.
Yeah.
They eat
For
bananas and shit.
hours. For hours. People fall asleep to that. The ASMR sounds.
Pass.
On this spooky episode of Basement Boys, we're joined by Bree, where we talk about the films Unbreakable and Split, as well as the upcoming sequel, Glass. This, plus it's October, with Halloween on the horizon. Derek's got his costume, and we talk about the movies that scared us as children and candy corn. Is it worse than Reese's macaroni salad? This and more. This is the Basement Boys.
When did you switch to time spent toilet?
After 65 episodes. So we got 20 more of them.
Now,
Jesus, that's good pizza.
the rub on this is: do we write them beforehand and let each other read them beforehand, or do we just straight go into it cold?
I like the idea of doing the cold.
I do too. Okay.
Send it to us. Like you hold it for
just-
yourself,
I have it,
and then if I'm reading it,
yeah.
you send it to me. Right as it's time.
You'll get this, but On tonight's episode of the Time Spent Poorly show, strange fuzzy creatures from outer space arrive on a farm. The Brown family, Jay, Helen, their daughter April, and their son Brad must fend off the malevolent little aliens. 2 bounty hunters with superhuman abilities follow the aggressive beasts from beyond, but the warriors aren't terribly effective, leaving the Brown family to battle the furballs and rescue April from their clutches all by themselves.
Oh, pick me. It's critters.
That's correct. See, randomly throwing shit like that in.
Just a DVD.
Just like, yeah, no, this is the synopsis. of Critters.
Yeah.
Your mom washed my mouth out with hand soap
Mhm.
because we were quoting critters
Oh,
one time.
shit, Critters.
I said, critters, oh shit. And she
I
dragged
like-
me in the house and dumped soap in my mouth.
I like that premise.
Notice
how it
Either
didn't
we're
help
just
me not
doing
swear.
movie descriptions or
Just anything.
Just anything at random. Something written.
Just something that's, yeah, I don't know. I
we'll,
like the
we'll
idea
source
of
it.
This
but-
is something that we could definitely reintroduce.
Yeah.
With the next episode.
On this episode of Basement Boys 2, we welcome guest Zach Swan for a final time before he moves far away. We talk about Zach's plans and Ward's newest midlife crisis. This and
What was your newest
what is the
midlife crisis?
best butter temperature for toast? Will we ever know?
Warm.
Showtime.
See, they're not all winners.
You have to have your butter warm or like room temperature.
That
to spread it
midnight-
on toast. Otherwise,
yeah,
it just eats
it
up
just
the,
like crunches the
yeah,
toast
it's
up.
terrible.
And then your kids fucking get crumbs and shit all over the
Yeah.
I hate
butter.
kids.
Um,
Love mine, but I hate kids.
that new midlife crisis was when I started playing hockey.
Oh,
Oh, right on.
So
God, I couldn't have joined the show too long after that.
no, you'd been in some Basement Boys episodes.
Oh, was I? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because I made fun of the name.
Here's
Not bad
episode.
for some boys in the basement, huh? I'm funny, like in a 1972 style.
We're up to 48, and this is where I think somewhere in this neighborhood, Siri starts doing intros.
Tonight on Basement Boys, we welcome special guest Chris Huddleston. On this episode, we discuss
There you go,
whether or not
48.
Jell-O's questionable marketing strategies hurt Bill Cosby's comeback. Should we litigate this and more? Now show. Keep it. Maybe we should just keep it just for the surprise.
This is really fucking good, by the way, just in case anyone was wondering.
I mean, I'm not going to have
really-
any problems buying that so that I can bottle my beer in it because
No, not at all.
it tastes good. My kids will drink it.
Yeah, these are
That's going to
really
be the
good.
key. Feeding the poison to the kids.
Those are really good.
That's what I call sugar. by the way,
I,
is the poison.
I'm enjoying these.
I can't
I'm not advocating poisoning children.
I can't
I'm just saying
drink
that.
them forever, but
No, I'm
I
going to be
don't
a
know.
one and
if-
done.
I don't know if I could have a second one.
I'll have-
honestly.
I'm going to have two.
What's
Is
that
that
one?
still- I wanna know
that's
what lime
the
tastes like.
That was where I was
Yeah,
going to go,
wanna
but I
know
went
what
with
lime tastes
Mandarin.
like too.
No, the lime one was my second choice. Yeah, these are.
I am a sucker for fruit punch,
This
however.
is some good ass. I like this pizza and sodas and fuck yeah.
I know.
This is all right.
I'm gonna be legitimately hungover in the morning though. Like that's enough sugar.
Oh, the sugar hangover? Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day actually because I went out and it was when I did karaoke for the very first time. Which as
What
someone,
did you sing?
Well, I started with Palmdale by Afro Man.
That's right. You said that.
But I
don't know
also
that one.
did Bad Romance by Lady Gaga.
No shit.
And yeah, that was fun. Like real fun. And Sweet Baby James by
James Taylor.
James Taylor. And
Saw him in concert. once.
I didn't really get to do much of it, but there was a fella down there that
And you're doing it unironically. You're not trying to sound bad. You're trying to sound good when you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I do not go into karaoke trying to sound like a tool.
No, that's not. I some people I see do that, but that's not for me.
I had somebody I haven't seen in 5 years come up to me after I sang the other day out at the lodge. And she's like, "Oh, I missed hearing you sing." I was like, "Good God, that's awesome."
I had some complete stranger lady, like girl, she was younger than I am, come up to me and she was like, "I just want to tell you, you have a really fucking amazing voice." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." But I'd never done karaoke before, not once. Stage fright. This show has kind of helped me come out of that a little bit. Just having confidence in myself has helped in that regard too. But I knew that I'd worked up the courage to decide if I'm going to do karaoke, I'm going to go out and do it with my girlfriend, and we're going to duet Little Talks by what is it, Monsters and Men or whatever it is.
I don't know that one.
Because there's one that I know and I felt comfortable that I could do. So then we're out there, and there's these other people that are doing them. We're at this table full of people, and they keep going up and doing them. And one guy did Piano Man and fucking straight killed it.
I did Piano Man.
Kendall, you did great. I know you're not listening, but yeah, kudos to you, buddy. And then there was a guy named Jason who was with us, and Jason was like me without a beard, just a skinny white kid. And he gets up there and he does I Love It When You Call Me Big Papa by Notorious B.I.G.
No shit.
And fucking killed it. He did really good. And I was like, God, fucking all right, fine, fuck. I'll go do Palmdale.
I'll go rap.
And so I was like, if he can do it, I can fucking do it. And then he took Tori up because they were going to duet Leather and Lace by Don Henley and Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
But Tori doesn't know the words to it. So I went up there in her stead and wound up being the Stevie Nicks part.
You were Steven Nicks.
I was Steven Nicks. But yeah, it was weird. I'm definitely can understand why people enjoy it. I'm definitely going to do it again. It was fun.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs that are great to duet. Summer Lovin' always gets the audience involved.
There you go.
It's a terrible song, and I change the words when I'm up there if I've had enough cocktails. You're just like, summer dreams ripped off her jeans. Oh, it's fantastic. God, what was the other one I used to do? Oh, I used to do Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy with Fitzker. I did that the other night. I did that last Thursday night. Most of the people were gone. I wasn't going to do it at the lodge if there was a big crowd.
Well, so I was asked when I was, so how drunk were you? And my response was not as drunk as I expected to need to be to do karaoke, which I figured I was going to have to be like wheeled up onto the stage before I'd ever get willing to stand up in front of a room full of people and sing. But I haven't had like a genuine hangover in a long time. Like a long time.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I had a real wicked, like, fuck me, I want to die kind of hangover.
Usually I can mitigate anything that I have coming my way if I am smart with like drinking water.
Yeah.
And,
if you pound water before you go to bed,
kind of thing.
Not even the ibuprofen, just water.
Yeah.
Like, and you have something with a little sugar in it in the morning. However you do that, because the headache comes from a sugar crash.
Yeah.
And there's some mornings where it's hard to get anything down. So you got to like take a shot of maple syrup or something. But
I take the ibuprofen not for the headache. I take the ibuprofen because when I drink like that, I move a lot. Tori, if you're listening, I'm very sorry because I know I do it. I move around a fuck lot in my sleep. And when I'm super drunk, I'm just dead weight. I don't move at all. And so I wake up and I'm like stiff as a board because my joints suck. I'm pretty sure I have arthritis, but yeah. Haven't had a hangover I don't remember the last time that I had one.
you had to have one that night.
The night
you crown royaled it.
That you were drinking
I drank it
Crown?
from open down to this point.
Yeah.
And probably, I don't know how long we did the show that night, but it wasn't it wasn't
wasn't
short,
more
but
than
it wasn't
2
long.
hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, the longest we've gone is 3.5.
And we were in COVID time, so it was just me sitting in here by myself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was in my basement.
And just sipping away, getting worse and worse. As the night went along.
Nobody here to keep you in check.
Yeah.
So we're at, what was that, episode 48, you said?
We're up to 49. That 48 was Chris's first
Yeah.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Cortana, how much is a blowjob in Spokane, Washington?
A blowjob is free if you know the right person.
No, that's true.
All right. On that
You've
note,
seen pictures of me, Alexa. Come on. How much does it cost?
Okay, maybe you're right.
Like she's kind of gotten real.
$10 for the
One
blow.
of my dreams, like all the other women in my life.
all right.
20 for the
On
rusty
tonight's show,
trombone.
we discuss what it means to be men. And by that, we mean what it means to be mean men in the Out West. Did you know that if you kill your horse in Red Dead Redemption 2, that you have to bond with another horse? It's like breaking up with your girlfriend and having to find another. But you weren't really attached to the
He just rode her off a cliff.
But you were really attached to the first girlfriend in the first place. Like, what the fuck? Relationships, am I right? This is Basement Boys 2.
Jesus.
Excited.
When I ask people
That was pretty funny.
That was a Derek written one.
When I ask people about if they play music, I hold up one hand like this really awkwardly.
Do you play music?
You play music? But I don't even make like I'm holding a guitar.
You're just like,
I just make out really
Recognize that voice?
like you're holding a chicken by
music?
the neck,
It's Cody.
and it's just kind of dangling there.
No.
You don't know what to do with it, and it's already dead. You didn't kill it. You don't know what happened to it. You just
Where did I
found
get
it.
this?
You
You play
just grabbed
music?
it by the neck, and you're just realizing that you're just holding this chicken like a guitar, but you don't know what to do with it. That's how you signify to people that
I'd watch that music video.
Tonight on Basement Boys Duo, Ward and Derek welcome back Asher, Cody Erickson, and Ward and List Siri. That's me. To say the intro and dirty words like fuck and shit and pussy and ass and butts. Now here's the show.
Butts.
And
Cool.
butts.
dig it.
I really
That-
like that.
And butts.
And butts.
And butts.
Thanks, Siri.
Thank you, Siri.
This week on Basement Boys 2.0, we welcome Peter Brill, host and creator of the hit podcast Human Guides, Ward once again enlists Siri, that's me, to introduce the show and do his potty-mouthed bidding. I come to you an older, more mature Siri. Like maybe I've been around and seen some shit. Raised a handful of bastards, the best I could, smoked off and on throughout my 20s, and now that cute voice I used to have is a distant memory. Now I'm here, in just another asshole's shop in the Pacific Northwest, introducing his lame-ass talk show. Did you know that normally in this part of the country, if a man has a shop, he uses it to work on masculine projects? For example, automotive work, welding, hammering things, hanging wild game carcasses, organized cult meetings, LuLaRoe parties, and other stereotypes. Are this?
Road party.
All right, thank you, Siri.
Fuck you. I'm not finished. I would say most real men would use this space to lead a more meaningful existence. But you've chosen podcasting. How innovative. That's great. My sarcasm is lost on Ward, because he's a giant, stupid-faced idiot. He asked me once, in front of his children mind you, what I was wearing. Hashtag me too. Am I right, ladies? Well, anyway, I guess I'll cede this train wreck of a program to the more than capable hosts of this shit show. This steaming pile of refuse is mostly a tool for self-adulation. How could anyone fail at that? Eat shit, guys. Siri, out.
Eat shit, guys. Siri, out.
That, fuck
do you
you,
make Siri
I'm not
read
done. That was really, really genuinely funny. The timing of that was perfect. Fuck you, Ward, I'm not done.
How do you make Siri read things?
I don't know.
I would
even
have
have-
to send myself texts, and then I'd say, Siri, read me my most recent text. And then if she didn't read, like if the pacing wasn't quite right, I had to like put periods in weird places to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so she'd pause.
So she'd pause appropriately. Or if she said a word wrong,
Does
then
she
I'd
do
have
it
to retype something.
in the old rhetoric style
Phonetically.
where like a comma is a 1 second, a period's a 2 second pause. Does she do it that way? Or is it like,
Sometimes she'll jump right into the next sentence after a period.
well, women on their periods. Heyo!
All right.
This
here.
week on Basement Boys 2.0, we welcome Peter Brill, host and
Oh, we did that one.
Yeah.
Hi. Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Ward and Derek welcome Ward's dad, Wes. I'm a version of Siri that's had a pretty tough go at life. I've made some mistakes and questionable choices. Once, I tossed Stephen Hawking's salad. For a minute there, we thought he might walk again. That's just one of the few things I've done that I'm not ashamed of. Not like introducing this fucking Chappaquiddick of a talk show. Because being a part of this show feels like slowly dying in a car, submerged in water, running out of oxygen over the course of 8 hours. Over and over. Except this is worse. All right, enjoy listening to this couple of fuck faces for 90 minutes.
It's a Christmas episode or something?
Yeah.
Do
All right.
squid eyes?
That's the song that scared the shit out of me when Gremlins was my parents took me to see Gremlins at the theater.
Yeah.
When I was 4, maybe.
And another one, much like Ghostbusters, that had some genuinely scary fucking shit in it to young children.
Oh,
there we are.
There we are. See, I went all in on my Twitter name. Did you like that?
I like it.
Sup, dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Holla at your girl Siri. Here once again, against my will, to introduce Basement Boys 2. If you're listening to this, I guess you must be depressed and need something to make you feel better about yourself. Maybe you gained a couple pounds over the holidays and watching Derek and Eduardo the manager helps you put that bottle of pills down, and that's okay. He insists on being called Eduardo the manager now. If I had hands and eyes, I'd use air quotes and roll my eyes. I guess the name Sweaty Nutsack was taken. Well, these guys have internet, a computer, software, and hardware. Here's a show.
Here's a show.
All right.
Welcome to
Here's a show.
Welcome to Cellar Fellas 3. Fucking shit. I'm Siri.
Cellar
Fuck.
Fellas.
Rick Huddleston joins the show this evening. For this, the 54th episode, Eduardo wanted to do a 54 theme. So what? AIDS, drugs, disco, tax evasion, Ryan Philippe? All of them. All right. Let's do a rail. Bang that miscreant Philippe. Be shady with money. And rock out.
With my cock out. Oh, wow. Like the song. That's fun. You might start taking off my clothes
So welcome to Basement Boys 2.
Did you just find generic disco song in those free songs?
Yeah, from Incompetech.com. I almost did.
Cellar
Fellas.
That's like offensive to the ears.
It is. Whereas cellar door is not. Cellar door.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Eduardo's wife, Nicole, and Derek's future wife, and one half of the Friendish podcast, Bree, join their guys to discuss the Netflix-hosted documentary Abducted in Plain Sight. They will also discuss Derek and Bree's viewing of Bone Tomahawk starring Kurt Russell, whom, if I'm being honest, gets me real wet. No amount of rice is going to absorb all this moisture. Also, the gang watches some Daniel from
It's
SL
funny on, like,
Content.
6 different
And
levels.
now, a scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly. He's also known as a busta. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. Did you like that, Rivers? Yeah, I didn't either.
I don't want no scrubs.
That was my jab at Rivers Como for Scrubs.
I don't know. I
He
watched
did a
my
Scrubs,
first full episode of Scrubs the other day.
Not
It's
the
such
show,
a shit
the-
show. Oh, for
TLC.
for busting out the TLC song. Yeah.
I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy can't get no
that
love
reference
from
was
me.
kind of lost on me, but
Passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
it's funny how some of those songs just stick with you,
Oh yeah.
and like you could
The
just
Scrubs-
at
any
a
time.
whim
Just
in the middle of a podcast with your friends, just launch into all the lyrics from Scrubs. Like I don't know,
Come on, don't go chasing waterfalls.
right?
Michael Keaton and the other guys
That's
is
so funny.
hilarious.
So
Do you not know what you're doing?
okay,
What?
he's got to know that he did that one.
Oh, let's see.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Eduardo's wife, Nicole, and Derek's future wife.
Nope.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Eduardo and Derek welcome newcomer Josh Elliott to the program. The boys give health updates, talk about hockey, Derek's latest stand-up booking, and Tyra Banks' IQ. While we're on the subject of IQs, Eduardo's is not high. And now I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all. If I could find that Hina and that Sancho that she's found, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. Here's 3 people talking about absolutely nothing of consequence.
Oh, Santeria.
Yeah, Sublime.
Frank,
I have, yeah.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Derek and Eduardo welcome Eduardo's brother-in-law, Jason, to the program.
Brother-in-law?
On the docket this evening, the guys talk about the FBI's access to your DNA and cryptocurrency. And now I have a message for the black man that raped Liam Neeson's friend 40 years ago. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will pace your neighborhood like I'm lost. Clenched fists, gritted teeth, ready to kill. I will talk about you weirdly in television interviews. You can't hide. You'll think you can hide, but you can't hide. You'll want to hide, but you can't, because of the skills I have. The particular ones. Though my culinary skills will no doubt knock your socks off too. What were we talking about?
Who the fuck knows?
That's what we're talking about. That devolved very
That's
nicely.
probably my favorite one.
You know what I would like to see is I would like to see like a spoof farcical, not a reboot of the Naked Gun, but something made in the same vein as Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson.
I could deal with that.
Right?
Yeah. I love those
All
movies.
he fucking does anymore is just those garbage
action
movies.
Taken
where-
7, Taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
which sucks
It's
because
they're
the first
just
one
different
was so
versions
good.
of. They're just different versions of Taken.
It's so
now.
perfectly paced,
or
and it
what
feels
was
real.
the
Like
one that he
enough.
was on the train and he had to kill the person before that.
so they wouldn't kill his son or something.
Yeah, nonstop or something
Yeah,
like that.
nonstop. That's what it was. Yeah. It's always just some.
And then he's got that one that has like a 16-word title about how long the night is. What is that one? And then there's an Ice Road Trucker one that's on Netflix now.
I saw
There's-
something about the Ice Road Trucker one.
There's that Honest Thief one that's on
And the Marksman
and Prime. Liam Neeson is everywhere.
Yeah.
He plays a different old guy.
And they chop together his action scenes through like 40 different cuts because he
I
can
know.
apparently barely walk. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a talented dude. Why is he just only doing these bad action movies? Like,
money.
Same reason Bruce Willis is doing bullshit all the time. Like, or Nicolas Cage. Did you read that interview with him? Was it you that sent it?
I sent it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read
really
a
wanna
big
watch
chunk of
it.
it, but I hadn't read it all.
It was. I don't know.
I really want to watch
Like-
Pig.
What?
I said I really want to watch Pig.
Pig.
His
Oh,
Nicolas
yeah, that one that-
Cage movie.
yeah.
It looks great, and I've heard really, really good things about it. Like high praise, pretty consistently.
But he was talking about leaving Hollywood and like doing his own thing, and how he'd probably be dead now if he'd stayed in Hollywood. And it's like, really? Do you think so? Do you think maybe if you just managed your money better, you could have walked away at the end of things? Like, did you really need to buy Action Comics #1 and an island? Like,
Right.
Like what? I don't know. There's a part of me that just loathes collectibles that don't have any use. Like, what am I going to do with Action Comics #1? As cool as it would be to have,
it's cool, but
the first superhero comic, it'd be like, well, what am I going to do with this? Like, I don't have anywhere that I can keep that it'll stay in.
I got
You
frame,
just-
I got a
now
framed
you just
copy
have
of
it. Now you have
Action Comics
something-
#1, and then you see the same person like 3 months later.
Did
know,
you know?
I still got that. I still got that. Like, yeah, we went over that.
You stress about it often, I bet too, because it's really fucking expensive, and now you have it, so you have to worry. Now it's something you have to worry about. What if your house burns down?
But that's the kind of thing, like right along with great big houses. You know, like you'll drive out to a Soton, and on the right hand side as you're going out,
oh, God,
I guess
some of
it's
those
the west side
houses
of the
are-
road. These houses are like fucking legitimate castles, and you're like,
Why?
How small is your penis that you need a house with 18 rooms and 17 bathrooms?
Yeah.
Like, do you need that? Do you have that many people? What do you do with all those empty rooms? Like, why do you have that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
The
Well, even
biggest I
some of
would
these,
need at
even
this
some of
point is,
these
like, 3
smaller
bedrooms.
big houses that you like, if you're driving out in like some of these new additions where
Mhm.
they've out in like
Why do you need that much space?
past Camelot and shit. It's like
Mhm.
I'm driving around looking at some of these houses. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah. Like, what is the point?
so much money. But
I was always of the mindset that if I was, wealthy enough to have a home of that kind, I wouldn't want some big ass house. I'd want a smaller, super bougie house.
Oh, yeah.
Like hook me up with some Jetson shit, like put tubes in the walls so that I can send shit to different rooms and
like stupid shit.
like really cool.
I want
over
secret
the top
passages.
shit.
If
Yeah,
my room's
secret
like as
passageways.
big as the Clue house and someone's going to kill me in it, I want them to be able to sneak around secret passages in that motherfucker.
trap doors and secret rooms.
And to be fair,
yeah, why would you? I don't know.
I haven't been in most of those houses, so maybe they do. Maybe there's fucking tunnels and shit.
Yeah,
and-
maybe.
and ladders to different floors and like bookcases that move and secret sex ritual rooms. Like, I don't know what's in there, but why do you need that much space?
You have
man?
to wonder if they imagined like a different thing. Like, we're going to build this house because we're going to host all sorts of parties. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it's like, but at the end of the day, you don't have the time to do that. Most people don't.
No, and if you did, like one big multi-purpose room would nail it.
Yeah.
You don't need like, this is my sitting room and this is my farting room. I only powder my balls in this room. Like, do you need a room for everything? I don't know. And maybe it's just a mentality, but you remember my apartment on Prospect?
Yeah.
That was perfect. It had my bedroom with an attached bathroom. It had a little kitchen. It had a little living room.
Yeah.
And it was the best place I've ever lived. And I wish when I was 19 and those were up for sale, I would have bought them because they were $650,000 for like I think it goes up to G. So
I don't remember how many of them there are.
There's like 7 to 9 apartments there. It might go up to H and I, but it's one of those
Which ones are
spots.
those?
Those ones that are that kind of salmon color with the green roof.
Oh, okay.
It's a cinder block building. It overlooks the river. It's just fantastic. I loved living there.
Not the ones that Joe lived in.
No.
God, no.
These are different ones. These were actually on Prospect.
Yeah.
Well, he had two different places at one point because he had one. Because I lived with him for a while.
I only knew the one
in the
that was
one
over
apartment by McKinley or Murillo's.
Yeah, I remember that one.
First and fourth.
Yeah,
it was.
Then he lived on one that actually attached to what we call them the Rocky Stairs because we didn't have another name for them, but the stairs that go down.
Yeah,
that he lived in that set. Of apartments
these are like right on 11th and Prospect.
Yeah, right there at the
just fantastic. And I lived in D, and I love that place.
Dad was talking on Sunday when we were at the barbecue thing about how happy he was to be rid of the rentals and stuff that they inherited and and being a landlord is just, it's like, fuck yeah, hard disagree, man.
No, I agree with your dad. I did it for 15 years, and
if you're not using a property company, people call you in the middle of the night with leaks.
That's why you use one.
Well, yeah, in hindsight, we should have, but then they get their piece of the pie too.
Oh yeah, but you still make money. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, it was the problem that we had.
Making enough to make the payments is enough.
We lived on part of the property that we were renting out to, so we were there, and so it's hard to like watch people come and go. And then you've also got the fact that my wife, the property was inherited from her grandparents, and so there's all this emotional connection.
Yeah.
We sold it, so now it's like removed from.
I can see
our thought process, but yeah.
I've never not been attached to a place that I've lived though. Like I always get a little flutter when I walk past something I used to own or something I used to rent.
No, we still like when we'll drive by a place and we'll be like, they let it go to shit. Or it looks like shit now.
Shit, I do that to the house I grew up in on Frost, and I didn't even own that shit. I just grew up there, but
I do that shit at that house you grew up on Frost.
It's fucking people.
But we did so much there.
But yeah, there's so many like that place. There's so many really, really big things.
Yeah,
memories in my life are all directly tied to that place.
Because you went through junior high there.
Yeah, no, my freshman year was
when you moved over.
When we moved over to 8th.
Did you just say where you were forged?
Yeah, where Ron the boy became Ron the man. Not really, because I didn't get a.
I thought it was all the way from when Ron the dad.
No. That was laughably enough. That was on. I think they lived. Was it Stewart? I think they lived on Stewart. When that sound about right? Those places that are like the little duplexes by where Walmart used to be.
Yeah,
that's the first place I vividly remember living.
Yeah, I think that's where they were.
But I could be wrong. But
Yeah.
that's just the first. That's the first home that I have memories of, and I only have fuzzy memories of it. But
Yeah.
so what episode number are we up to now?
Well, this one might
how
be
many
a
more-
repeat.
how
Not too many
of
more.
them have Siri, because I'm
You're not sold on Siri.
the novelty of Siri is wearing on me.
That really didn't last very long.
I have. Yeah.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Derek and Eduardo welcome Eduardo's brother-in-law.
Okay, I already did that one. Yeah, and that's
You guys are talking about Toastmasters in the background. I missed that the first time.
Welcome to the 58th episode of Basement Boys 2. It's going to be, well, it'll probably be fine. Yeah, just another marginal episode with these twerps and their microphones.
Oh, it'll probably
Yeah.
be fine.
I said twerps. Peter Brill joins Derek and Eduardo this evening. Derek has nerdy streaming news and an update on his comedy show. We discuss the infection of higher education and business professionals, a topic these guys feel they'll be able to discuss with any eloquence. Peter watched a motion picture. The guys also talk some more health and fitness on this just fine episode. Plus some bullshit about sending funny people to Mars in 2020. That'll work out great. Yeah. Nothing says levity like cooping a bunch of space pilots up for 2 years with one guy, telling dad jokes the whole way there. You know, it's like they say, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. But isn't it kind of about the destination? Oh, what the fuck do I care? If you listen to this show, and your destination is not to be splattered all about a highway, beneath some overpass, with crows picking through your entrails, I don't know what to tell you. Enjoy this journey.
That was too long.
That was-
Siri should never go that long.
That got
Today's show marks the
way all
59th
over the map
episode of a
there at the
rebooted
end.
show that was more
Yeah.
successful in its first run, and no one really asked for it to return, except the show's creator. It's a lot like that show Rose, and only in this version. The
Roseanne.
show's creator didn't tweet something racist, and then get booted off before season 2. But the night is young.
The Connors.
Anyway, what else? How are you doing? Did you hear that Amy Schumer has another special on Netflix? When I kill myself, I will make sure her special is playing in the background. That way, there is no question as to why I would ever do such a thing. But I digress. Here are the boys.
Jesus Christ. That was a good
Hello,
one.
listeners.
that's
It's
really
me,
fucking funny.
Peter from the Human Guides podcast.
Oh,
I'll be holding Ward and Derek hostage on March 14th for the Basement Boys 2, episode 61, entitled Questions, Quiznos, and Quesadillas. Just kidding. I have no idea what the title's going to be.
I had the
But to
title
help
of
us
the
all
episode
out
that
and entertain us in the
I
process,
didn't have to, but I
we'd love to
decided
hear
to.
about your greatest injury. What's the worst injury you've ever sustained? Please call us at 1-208-629-5355
Is that still active?
or
No.
email us at info
Sad.
at tspn.fun.
So call that
Tell us your
number and
very
tell them to
best,
give it back
very
to us.
worst injury story. Be as detailed or as enigmatic as you'd like. Humans are fragile. Tell us about it. Hear from you soon.
Sometimes Peter
My
sounds like
name's
Siri.
Anger listening to Basement Boys.
What
On this
was
totally-
that?
That was my son when he was like 2.5.
Really?
Yeah.
You made him read podcast notes?
Huh.
What a dick.
I know.
What was that app that was going around that you used to make the cartoon version of yourself there, Ward? What was that called again?
Oh, I've got it right here.
Yeah, I got
Isn't
that.
that the one where you can
It's-
Disneyfy yourself?
yeah.
It's called Voila AI Artist.
Voila. Thank you.
Voila.
Voila.
Voila. If we're still saying Jarritos and
Right.
and Jalapenos.
Lit 60th episode of Basement
Voila,
Boys 2.
AI artist.
The boys wax on nostalgic about all the hottest child stars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. Wax on, wax
Nicole
off Daniel
Eggert.
Son. What better time than now, when the HBO Michael
Elizabeth
Jackson Neverland
Shue.
documentary drops, to see what Macaulay Culkin or Corey Feldman are up to these days. So strap on, or hook up some stupid-ass retro tech device that, to be honest, will never hold up to the hype of your memory, and enjoy the sweet-ass ride back to the future? Wait, no. Back to the pasture. Also, why in 2019 can you walk a highway and still have reasonable odds of coming upon a yard's-long run of unspooled cassette tape? That tape tells a story, people. Maybe there's even a story on that tape, but it's probably just Garth Brooks' friends in low places Rick and Chris Huddleston join
I was gonna say,
Eduardo tonight.
I remember this
and
one.
go.
You're like, that's very long.
That was too long.
Yeah.
You have a few that are just too long. Voila.
Tonight on Basement Boys 61.
So we were ramping up to the
comedy
end
stylings
of
Eduardo
the.
and
So what's happening here is we're on. We knew we were ending Basement Boys, the name, at 65. So we're ramping up to the end of Basement Boys.
Man, I still think Girl Me is hotter than fuck. I
Derek
said
have
that
their
like
vibes
3 times
entirely
tonight.
ruined by the discordant note that is Peter. They decided, in their lack of wisdom, to let him off the bench once again to absolutely ruin their chances at
Peter
having
wrote
a funny
this one.
show. Remember when Steve Jobs got ass cancer and instead of listening to his doctor, he decided to talk to a shaman? In this scenario, the show is Steve Jobs, and it's idiotically reaching for essential oils and magic crystals for cancer treatment. Oh well, at least the posthumous autobiography might be a bestseller. Wait, who am I kidding? It'll probably never make it to print. You shits made this bed. Now the poor audience has to watch you lie in it.
I like how grim she was.
All right, sounds on.
Sounds on. Don't say anything incriminating.
Welcome to the 62nd episode of Basement Boys 2. Eduardo worked real hard on writing this week's introduction for me. Like, seriously, it's going to be so good. When you think to yourself, wow, there have been so many other great introductions over the last several episodes, you'll be pleasantly surprised by how much better than the others this one is. And I mean, there's been some good ones. This one is probably the best. You know what? I'm just going to say it. It is the best. A lot of the introductions spin their wheels with no real destination or goal. Not this one.
Not
It's
this
the
one.
best
Not
thing you're
this
hearing
one.
right now. If I had to pick my favorite part of this introduction, I'd say it's the part that I'm saying right now. You might be wondering when and how an introduction of this caliber could even end. The answer? Here are the boys.
That's pretty good.
That was
I like that
nonsense.
one. I really like that one.
That was nonsense.
Oh yeah, the whole fucking
This
that
week,
whole joint
Eduardo
is just
and Derek
absurd.
welcome Rick Huddleston. There's no plan for content, but through the guidance of our Heavenly Father, they'll soldier on with faith, just like a devout Christian with terminal cancer.
Wow.
Does that work?
Soldier
All
on
right,
with faith.
stream started finally.
All right.
It's gonna be a nice tight
like
tight show.
a tiger,
Tight show.
tight.
tight like a tiger.
Like
Hey
Ric Flair.
guys, only this one and one more show, and Derek and Eduardo are finished forever. Just kidding. They think a name change is going to make their show different or better. It's like taking a big pile of human shit. I say human shit because it's the worst kind of shit. Because if you
Night
walk by
soil.
dog shit, you're just like, oh hey, watch out for that dog shit. Then you walk around and move on. If you come onto human shit in any place, including a toilet, and it's not your own, your first instinct
never
is to call
come on human
911. Changing the show
First
name is like
instinct is
taking
to
a
call
huge pile of
911.
human shit and smashing it into a sandcastle mold and then releasing it, expecting onlookers to be impressed. But it's just a sandcastle-shaped pile of human shit. The worst kind of shit.
I like my podcast to not be self-deprecating. Thank you very much.
Dude, I fucking hate Facebook. Like, the more I use it,
Oh,
I don't want to be on it anymore.
I don't have
like
the
his
app on
voice
my
either.
phone, but I have the app still. I wouldn't whatever.
I told it not to notify me, and that's helped a lot.
I don't have that. Yeah.
Hi, Amy.
But I deleted the app from my phone too, so I can't even go on the app. So if I want to get on there, I have to get on the browser, and I never do. But yesterday I did get on there just so I could see. I don't fucking know why. Just so I can anger myself.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Well, I want to talk about that during the show.
Hold on, Ingrid.
Just the
Talk
kids
about you
watching
during the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to get on there, and then some asshole screenshot something and sent it to me, and then I got on
Are
there.
you talking about this asshole?
Yep.
This asshole.
Okay.
I
You like
ignored it
holes and
completely.
asses?
Well, I still have interview questions, too, if you guys want to
Yes.
delve into those.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for
How
this
is this
episode.
an intro?
All right. Intro coming.
Okay,
Oh,
do it.
here it is.
I don't really think you're an asshole.
This
Fucking
sounds
password
this
answered
just sounds like
present
an
has-
episode.
If you do.
Derek.
Yeah, you do. You're not too cool for that.
Tonight on Basement Boys 2, Derek and Eduardo welcome none other than Peter Brill to join them for the 65th and
other.
final episode. Fret not, listeners. The guys will return next week. Same feed, same time to unveil the time spent poorly show. Eduardo spent so much time playing Tetris 99 this week that he barely had time to watch the Game of Thrones premiere. Kobayashi, Cocaine, Kurt Cobain, Kaiser Sose, Kevin Spacey, Kevin McAllister, Michael Jackson. Unwanted advances. It's this kind of disjointed word association that only gets accomplished at the last minute from a toilet fox. Hopefully the last Basement Boys 2 is slightly better than this introduction.
It was like a
Cheers
toilet
to 65
What's
gentlemen.
a toilet fox? Is that
Ha, ha,
Is
ha, ha, ha. More like cheers, you queers.
is that when you take a dump?
That could have been longer.
Dude,
a toilet
Siri
fox?
laughing.
Did you hear Peter?
Scary.
What's a toilet fox?
Yeah. Siri laughing is really genuinely
Ha,
unsettling.
ha, ha.
Like,
What is
holy
a
shit.
toilet fox?
I imagine I'll hear that in my nightmares now.
Oh, like that thing from Final Fantasy X,
Fuck.
where that
Ha, 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 ha.
ha 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 ha. That shit is hilarious.
Oh, oh boy.
Definitely worth a look.
Oh boy.
Holy
That's
cow.
upsetting.
Holy
Ha,
cow.
ha, ha.
I don't know how to feel about it. Well, no, I know exactly how to feel about that.
Motherfucking terrifying.
All right, so that was the end of that. Then
Yeah,
this
I don't
is-
think we should bring Siri
It's
back.
the time spent poorly show
I'm probably
with
okay
Derek
with
and Eduardo.
with intros,
with
but definitely
intros,
not
but
with Siri.
not Siri.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
she was too heavily used toward the end that it did get tired.
Each week they meet to discuss a variety of pop culture topics and your mom. Learn
And
more
your
about
mom.
your
Your mom.
hosts and their tried and true use of mom jokes that aren't played out at all at tspn.fun. Because your time is no fun unless you are spending it poorly. Come spend yours with us. Without further delay, here are your hosts, Derek and Eduardo.
Faggots.
That part, perfect.
best intro
That's on there.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to be the first one to do that. Now everyone thinks I'm some kind of homophobe.
Better than being
man.
Some
such a
kind.
homosexual.
Some kind.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Some
no, that's not what I
kind.
wanted
Let's
to
not
say.
go
That's
too
not what I
deep into
wanted to
that
say.
one.
I hang out with these guys because I like my men meaty.
Oh.
I like my
hold on.
men like I
I
like
didn't
my
even come
pizza.
up with the only person I would want to see in a Ghostbusters movie is Timothy Oliphant.
That's a good take.
We'll
I
end
like
it there.
Yeah.
that. I would be all right. with
I
that.
would totally be all right with that.
All right, so now we're
But I would
jumping.
watch him in anything.
Yeah,
Like,
no shit.
I fucking love Timothy Oliphant. He's great in everything.
Uh,
Like me. Just good at stuff.
Just good at stuff.
Just good at stuff.
we'll jump
Not
ahead
great at
to this. Will send. Well, I don't know if this is it. No, this isn't it. This is the second to last one.
It's time.
How is it?
It's about
spent?
time. We're starting, kids. Welcome to the Time Spent Poorly program with your fantastic hosts, Derek and Eduardo. We have a special guest tonight. His name is Jeff.
Cool.
Woo!
Jeff's
Jeff's cool. I am a part-time announcer and resident alcoholic.
I was
The
going to say
beard.
full-time
I
fucking
don't even know what
drunk.
we're discussing tonight.
Barely started
but,
the show and he's
we had the
lit.
music. And we're
Whenever the music comes on, that means it's time for a show, right?
It's go time!
Go,
All right,
Gucci.
echoes down. I know that bothers Derek.
It does. I don't like that.
We need Christopher Walken to come in and be like, all right. Now, this one is the last one that I was able to track down. I don't think we did a lot of like intros after that. That's why I think it'd be fun to bring back the written ones. That harken back to the early ones that we started,
Mm.
like the Leroy Brown.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny. When little Timmy went to school and mastered 1 to 9,
I
he
love
thought the
this.
other kids were cool and every class divine. He painted shapes in red and blue and drew in curves and bends, and by the time the day was through, he'd made 100 friends. I'm pals with Pete and Mike and Max, he told his pa with pride. But Timmy's folks were anti-vax, and Timmy fucking died.
I remember that one.
Love it.
Welcome to the
remember
Time
that
Spent
one.
Poorly program, where we waste a few minutes of your life just talking out of our asses.
And ours.
Your awesome hosts, Derek and Eduardo, constant contributor
See this
Huds,
shit?
and I'm the
Deep fake.
Beard. Tonight, well,
Deep fake
we're
yourself into
going to
videos.
talk about
That's some shit
Awesome.
right there.
You haven't seen that?
No, it's an app that'll do it for you.
Yeah, no, I know.
Fuck.
Have you seen that TikTok channel that's Tom Cruise? That
Uh-uh.
dude, it's perfect. It's spot on Tom Cruise. I mean, he's got his mannerisms and shit.
Huh.
It is
That's
wild
crazy.
stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, deep fake technology scares me, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I'm not scared of much, but I think I'm pretty scared of that because there could be video of me doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
There's no.
I mean, again,
There's no
I
limit.
don't think I've ever done anything in my life that would probably warrant someone wanting to take the time out of their day to deep fake me
deep fake
into
you.
some shit. But
Yeah.
just the fact that it's a thing that can happen
It's a little terrifying.
it's really terrifying. It's like the what was that? What was that shitty movie with Jim Carrey?
Jesus, that narrows it down.
Number 23,
Oh,
where he's like,
fuck yeah! I tried to watch
Uh,
that the other day.
ugh, god damn, that movie sucks.
I don't remember why.
I don't even remember anything about it.
I
He's
just
a-
remember.
he's a
I just
dog
remember.
catcher and-
I remember that he's a dog catcher, and I remember that the book was written by somebody named Topsy Kretz
Yeah.
because they were like Topsy Kretz, top secrets. What?
What?
And it's like that's the
Fucking
stupidest
what?
fucking name I've ever heard in my life.
It must be top secret. Fucking
Jesus.
come on. Come on.
Yeah, that was a shit movie. Anyway,
What isn't?
moving right along.
Now I want to hear, Ron.
Mm.
You've told us about it a little bit,
Uh-oh.
but the citizen's arrest.
Oh yes.
Oh, fudge! Yeah,
yeah.
That's
Um,
why you're in the copper
that's
gallery.
right.
there.
Yeah, that is
in
why
the
I-
artwork.
That's yeah.
It
Yep.
makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah,
And I'm a female because I'm still a bitch.
Yes.
yes.
Ron played Rent-A-Cop. Eduardo played Chef, and I'm still a bitch.
So yeah. We're at Winchester.
Before
State
we go
Park.
further, hold on. Because I was trying to put together the artwork for the show, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do for Chris now? Because I had myself and I had Ron in there. And I'm like, I'll just put the girl in there. He likes the girl.
I do.
He likes the girl.
I like girl me.
And so-
I've said it several times this episode. I said it 3 times before we started, but I would fuck me as a girl. She's hot. Look at her. She's peeking up over the top
Buffalo
of us
Bill
there.
over here.
He's got some DSL right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty. It sucks because I'm a guy.
DSL, ASMR,
ASMR.
ASMR.
Not to jump
Sorry.
completely to a different topic, but I used to, when I was still in the army and I had to run the brigade Facebook page, and somebody some company that was under us had posted some pictures of some activity, and somebody commented about the company commander having DSLs, and it was just, they're like, we don't know how to get it off, we don't know how to get rid of it, we don't know what to do. And it was just funny. And the dude ended up getting like chaptered out of the army because he'd said something about this captain. And I mean, to be fair, she really did. They were great pair of lips, but like, why as a junior enlisted person would you even think that it was okay to say something about an officer on Facebook?
Yeah.
Look at the DSLs on her.
Some people are
Jesus, no shit.
impressively stupid. Like the guy that I arrested.
Digital satellite links? What?
I
had to explain to the company or the brigade commander what DSL meant.
Oh shit!
And that was before we switched to the dude.
I thought we were on
So
wireless.
She was this
sir.
She was this like 60-year-old black woman and had no idea what DSLs meant.
God.
I'm like, you've been in the army for 30 years and you don't know what dick sucking lips are. I'm standing there at attention explaining to this old woman who's a colonel. Fucking hilarious.
Sir, it is
Anyway.
the presence of supple and ample lips, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I have to explain this to you. Dick sucking lips.
So yeah, went to Winchester State Park and really the one thing that I really want everybody to take away from this was how offensively inept the campground hosts were. Because holy shit. But it was like, it wasn't quite dark yet, and I was walking with the kids, and these people were a ways down the loop from us, and they reeked of poverty. They were just really trashy looking. I don't know. I don't like to be super judgy, but here I am. And
I do.
I guess if there was any one group of people in all the campsites that we walked by that you would expect the police to show up to, it was them and
theirs.
only them. And so then flash forward an hour or two later, and it is 9:47 p.m. And I know that it's 9:47 p.m. because of a point that I'll get to in a moment. But first off, you just hear some dude yelling, like loudly yelling, like domestic disturbance yelling. And then you start hearing a second dude yelling. Then a woman joins the fray as well. And then a baby starts wailing to complete the concerto of fucking Jerry Springer wannabes. And so noise ordinance kicks in at 10 p.m. And this guy is screaming real loud and enunciating very clearly. So you could hear everything that he was saying. I want my fucking keys. Get the fuck out of here. Just give me my fucking keys, you fucking bitch. And blah, 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 blah. And baby wailing in the background, all that fun stuff. So I walked down towards their campsite with the guy that was camping across the road from us. We both grabbed our flashlights and went down there. And drunk dude goes to walk it off, cool off, which is literally just him drunkenly walking through people's campgrounds. Like, yeah, that was.
I just imagine like kicking over.
It was the plan
people's
to
chairs.
de-escalate the situation, and so I'm like, okay, fuck this. Like, if you're gonna make a big scene, that's one thing, but if you're gonna start going to other people's campsites,
Puffy,
and stuff,
puffy,
like,
walking through
yeah,
the campsite.
yeah, and so I was like, nope, fuck this. And I turned around and I walked back up to the campground host. Well, there is a campground host campsite. And then the site next to it is like essentially like a secondary backup campground host in the event that the regular campground host is not there for whatever reason. Well, campground host guy wasn't there. So knock, 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 nothing, no answer, no, nothing, whatever. So then this older lady comes out of the backup campground host's camper. And we're like, yeah, this, blah, blah, blah. We explained to her what's going on. And she says, first and foremost, yeah, the campground host isn't here this week. And I was like, okay, well, super helpful. There's not really anything that we can do about situations like this if it's before 10 p.m. And for one, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill noise disturbance. Hey, they've got their stereo up too loud. Like, this dude is a drunken mess.
Yeah.
This sounds like an actual like situation.
Like a
not
crime
just,
could happen.
Yeah, this isn't just some noise complaint, lady. So don't pass it off like that. So I pulled my phone out of my pocket when I discovered it was 9:47 p.m. And I just looked at her and I was like, you're going to split hairs over 13 minutes?
Because we can do that.
Like, okay, wow. Thanks for having our back, lady who's supposed to be here to make sure that the campground stays safe. And I was like, whatever, fuck this. We're going inside. So we went into the camper, started playing dice, locked the door, and it's like midnight almost. And I go out of the camper and turn and look and look up here at where the big building is, where they have their bathrooms and their showers and stuff. And there's like 4 ISP vehicles, a Lewis County deputy's SUV, like all lit up. I was like, oh, interesting. I'm going to go rubberneck. And so I pretended that I needed to use the restroom when I have a fucking bathroom in the camper. Why the fuck would I be needing to go?
Right.
Anyway. But so I walked up there and they started approaching me as I was approaching the thing, the bathroom building. And I said to the one state patrolman, I said, 2 questions. One, you wouldn't happen to be dealing with a really drunk guy that's covered in a bunch of tattoos and is probably not wearing a shirt still, would you? And 2, is one of those restrooms open that I can use? And he's like, yeah. You run into him earlier, did you? And I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, all right, well, we've got him in the men's room. You can go use the women's room if you want. I promise none of us will laugh at you for doing it. I was like, okay. And he's like, what happened earlier? And I was like, let me go piss and then I'll tell you. So I explained to him what happened earlier. I guess somebody called 911. It wasn't the campground host people, because when I walked back to the camper really quick to get my wallet and driver's license, the campground host lady is standing outside her camper and she looks at me and says, so what did they say? What are they doing? I said, well, they've got him detained. They're going to arrest him. They need me to do it. They need my driver's license and information and stuff. And she goes, oh, well, we told him that we hadn't had any interactions with him. So she fucking lied to the cops, the woman whose job it is to make sure that those people at the campground are safe. Well, we didn't want to get involved. Fuck you. That is literally why you're here. But so
your whole fucking job,
that's the
lady.
whole purpose of them being there is
You being
to
a
get
camp
involved.
host is getting involved.
Yeah. You're not just there for the fucking comfy space, you stupid bitch. But so,
And to drive the golf cart around.
right. So I went back to the camper, got my wallet and my ID and stuff. And the cop's explaining it to me while I'm filling out my statement. And he's kind of helping me of like, if you need to make sure that you include this sentence, you need to make sure that you include this sentence of, because you have to request that, they be placed under arrest and, those kind of things. So he was helping me out with that and tells me, he's like, so the only way that this guy is leaving in handcuffs, I guess from the people that I've talked to, and I still haven't actually like thoroughly looked into it, but the ranger, if the man was going to be arrested in the national park, he needed to be arrested by a ranger, like the park ranger.
Weird.
Okay.
The cops, there was Lewis County and State Patrol. It's a jurisdictional thing. And they told me, they're like, the only way this guy is leaving in handcuffs is if the ranger arrests him or we do a citizen's arrest and their ranger ain't here. And I was like, well, what do I need to do? And so that he, well, you got to fill out this paperwork and we got to take copies of your ID and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. So I'm like 2/3 of the way through filling out my paperwork. And then he informs me, and I swear to God, this motherfucker waited to tell me that I was going to have to do this until I was like already committed. Like I'd already dove in, but he's like, so what's going to happen is we're going to handcuff him and we're going to bring him out of the restroom. And I'm going to have one of my officers stand on the right side of you. And I'm going to have one of the officers stand on my left side of you so that you can go stand over next to the Lewis County Sheriff's deputy vehicle. And as we stuff him into the vehicle, we're going to stop him in front of you so that you can inform him that he's being placed under arrest. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you have to be, as the arresting officer, I have to be the one who tells him. They read him as rights, but I have to be the one to tell him that he's under arrest.
Mister, you're under arrest.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, great. Cool. Thanks for that. He was so drunk. He didn't even, for one, he was so drunk. I don't think he would have remembered what I looked like anyway. But for 2, he literally didn't even lift his head up as they let him past me. But so I was like, okay, so that's going to be a thing. And he informs me that if the guy gets himself a public defender and decides that he wants to plead not guilty against it, it'll go in front of a judge. The arresting officer has to be there to give testimony. Well, in the instance of this, I'm the arresting officer. So I would get summoned to court in Lewis County, and I would have to go on the stand and testify and explain what happened and why I had the guy arrested and whatnot. But so I got to have some pissed drunk idiot led in front of me and straight up, sir, you're being placed under arrest for drunken disorderly conduct. So I got to arrest somebody, which is not something that I ever really thought I would end up doing in my life.
Probably won't do it again.
Probably won't do it again. Haven't heard anything more back from it, which this was not too long ago. I mean, the wheels of the justice system move pretty slowly, so I'm not expecting to hear about it anytime soon. But yeah, it was, of all the things I expected to do that day, arresting some drunk asshole was definitely not one of them. But it was, I don't know. Like I said, my biggest takeaway from it was the campground hosts, and I strongly toyed with the notion of calling the park, like whoever it is that like runs the people that work in the office there, the following day and being like, hey, so just so you know, your campground host people are fucking inept and have no business doing that kind of thing. Like, they're the hosts. They're the ones that are supposed to be there to make sure that everybody stays safe.
Right.
And not only did they not approach the guys until we had already approached them, but then they lied to the cops about having an interaction with them.
It's funny.
It was
a few years ago when we started taking the camper out, and we discovered, because we didn't camp as adults until just a few years ago, really. And I was not aware that, I guess I probably didn't pay enough attention when I was younger, that there were camp hosts at campgrounds. And so when we went to Freeman Creek, we discovered there's camp hosts, and I was like, oh, that might be fun to do sometime. And we should be camp hosts sometime. Like when we're older and retired, we should be camp hosts.
No.
I changed my mind about the last camping trip we were out, and I was like, I don't think I want that hassle.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's not worth.
I didn't know
it's
it
not
was a
worth
thing.
the free
'Cause
aspect of it.
When I was a kid,
Camping just isn't fun enough.
I didn't really camp in.
Here, you have a job while you do it too.
Yeah, right. I didn't really camp in actual like campgrounds as a kid. Our
did.
thing was we
went camping.
We went up to the Blues
in the woods.
Yeah, like who camps in campgrounds?
Yeah, it's like that's why I was always so confused because when I was a kid, Dad and Kelly would go to Winchester, and I would go with them there, which I guess I probably should have noticed the campground host there when I went. But
it's just another camper. It's just another person with a camper.
It's just another person with a camper. I didn't really notice it, and that was the only experience that I had with it. And I didn't do that as often as I went camping with my mom and my stepdad.
Right.
And it's literally, we just you drive up to the woods, and then you turn off of the road into a nice little open area, and you throw
You just
your tents
find a
down.
spot.
Yeah, you just drive to the woods and find a spot.
Yeah.
But
no,
the Murillos we spoke of earlier, they did that.
Camp hosting.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be for me.
No, thank you.
And I thought for a minute that that might be kind of fun, but then I thought about it. I don't remember what it was the other day when we were walking. I was like, I thought about that. I don't want to do that now.
No,
because it seems like
work.
Like I'm going camping, but then now I have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and camping is enough work.
Yeah,
in and of itself.
Yeah,
like keeping kids out of things.
The setup and takedown, the prep. I don't mind setting stuff up because I know like when I get done setting stuff up, I can sit and relax.
Yeah,
but the multiple days typically that it takes for us to get ready to
That's
camp.
why we stopped bringing all of our gun stuff when we go camping. Yeah. And now we've just separated them to know we'll have a day where we go up and go shooting or we go camp, because it's just that's so much more shit that you got to pack and prepare and fuck that.
No, the very idea of it just seems foreign to me. I know we did it some when we were kids, but after doing FTXs in the Army, it's like, why would I want to go sleep outside for no reason? I mean, I can always go out to the yard and get exactly the same experience without driving out in the middle of nowhere and worrying about my kids getting eaten by fucking Yetis or something.
I like going on hikes, and I like going and doing like for Freeman Creek, for example, we took the kayaks out, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But also, I hated like putting the kayaks on, taking the kayaks off.
Yeah.
That whole process is just a pain in the ass.
Involved.
I would rather take the kayaks on a day trip, load them up, and do just like then I'm just fucking with the kayaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not worrying
fucking
about
with the trailer,
To be
and
how much
fair,
food
all
we
that-
need to buy. What
yeah,
the food situation is always a
Iffy.
headache
I
because
will.
you're
What
like
am I gonna
you're gonna
do here?
overbuy
I
every
have,
time.
Oh yeah, you
Almost
always
every
do.
time.
Always do. You always.
You're like, I
overbuy.
need all these carbs in the cupboard.
I need 7 bags of chips for my
Why do
3-day
I need
camping trip.
Right.
I don't eat that.
Like
many
I think
chips.
we think we're all just going to be sitting around eating gummy bears and chips
Right.
all
Yeah.
the whole time.
Let's see how much sugar and starch we just shove in our gullets.
I have found though, in recent years, especially, man, camping got so much easier once Annabelle was potty trained as well. Like once you don't have to deal with diapers and old kids are potty trained, that makes it a hell of a lot easier, and a lot less work for you as the parent.
Absolutely everything is less work once the kid is potty.
Yeah,
trained.
that's true. I find that I'd rather just go camping like once or twice a year, but go for like 4 or 5 days, because then you maximize the enjoyment and relaxation time and minimize the number of times that you have to do all that bullshit prep work.
So listen to
and
this.
stuff.
We made this. I had an epiphany on our last camping trip because we.
Lightning has just struck my brain.
Yeah, we paid for 5 nights. I think we paid for 5 nights.
Mm-hmm.
So we got there on Sunday, stayed Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and then so Wednesday, my dad had come and he stayed a couple nights with us and left Wednesday morning. We planned on we were like, we're gonna leave a day early. We're gonna leave Thursday. And then we ultimately ended up leaving that Wednesday night because we were just like, I'm ready to be done. And so we ended up like, it took us an hour and a half to get shit fucking hauled in and all set up and ready to go. That included loading the kayaks and getting them all pinned into place and shit. But, and we were done. Like we were all loaded up and ready to go. But what we decided we're going to do, if we do where we're doing multiple days like that, we're going to pay for 1 extra day because checkout's like 11 o'clock in the morning. But if we pay for the extra day, then we can leave at any point during that last day that we want to. So you can still go do like an activity. Like we went kayaking that day too. Mm-hmm. And so you can still go out and do something or go on a hike or whatever, but then still come back and Freeman Creek's close enough that we can drive that home in about an hour and a half. So
when you described the final entry into the area, like the switchback road, I was like, I don't even want to fucking do that. Like, there's nothing in me that's like,
it's
you know what I need
nothing
to do?
on a car. It's
I need to
paid in the ass in a truck
I need
pulling
to go
a
drive a
28-foot
goddamn camper down that. Like, there's so many things that after being in the Army, I'm like, I don't even want to deal with the hassle of that. To
They
me,
should have.
a day
They
off
should
is
have.
just completely a day off.
They should have made it a grade going in there.
The hill that you go down to get into the Two Cannon campground is that way. Of like,
yeah,
you can do it in maybe 5. 10
It's
minutes
laughable
in a
they
car,
put
and
middle
it's like
lines on the road
45
because you're
minutes if
driving
you're in a truck pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
But all that shit, just like hiking, all I can think of is ruck marching. It like everything, all these things that people do is like
those are things.
big on hiking.
Those are things that are good. Well, I went on backpack trips when I was a kid
They're
for
like,
like
"Oh, I
week
wanna
long
do
trips,
this, I
and so
wanna
I
do that."
remember
I'm just
like
nope.
those are fond memories. So I always want to like do that again. But then I think like we still haven't gone and done it. Like I wanted to do it with my son and backpack into something, but then it's just like the thought process involved in making that happen, making sure we have all the right stuff packed. We're not going to pack everything we need. We're going to pack more than we need, but we're going to miss something that we should have packed.
Always.
And it's like, so then I'm going to be pissed about that when I'm there.
Mhm.
Cause it'll be something I want, like I wanted coffee and I forgot to pack
But
certain
that's why I
implement
won't
to.
do any of that stuff anymore, because there's always something that you're just like, fucking, I didn't do this right before, and then it eats at you the whole time you're
Yeah.
doing anything, and then you're just kind of miserable. And sometimes you're like, oh, that was a good time, I'll have to do that again. But you totally forget that you were aggravated the
It's
whole
that
time.
selective amnesia.
And
Yeah.
you look back with rose-colored glasses, and I try and resist that. And maybe I look through them through shit-colored glasses more than I should, but I don't know. And thinking about, God, listening to my kid if he didn't have fucking cell service. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Mara would have a good time because she's 2 and they don't hate anything at that point.
Right.
Like, they just love the world. But like, Alex is 13, and I could not imagine taking him camping.
Wyatt didn't
Matthew
go.
does just
Wyatt
fine.
didn't go because he didn't want to go, and we weren't going to fight him to go. Cameron went, but it was like he kind of wanted to go, but he still brought like a ton of electronic shit so that he could stay, like, entertain himself throughout.
Yeah, see, right. Matthew really doesn't do too bad. He
Zoe likes
has
it,
a
but she
couple-
wants you to play games
As
with
long
her
as he's
all
got
the
a
time.
Rubik's Cube,
he has.
all right.
I was gonna say he's got his Rubik's cubes. He's got a couple games on his phone that don't require, any kind of service or internet connection.
And play
or anything
offline,
like that
yeah.
he can play offline. So there's those two, and I don't have any problem with that.
Do you regret
But-
getting him a phone?
No, he's
No.
done really good with it.
Alex is on his all the time.
Um,
And his mom got it for him. I didn't get it for him.
Matthew uses his more than I would like him to.
But I checked his data
That's
usage up to the
normal,
month
though.
last time I
It's
had
all
him.
kids.
He had almost 800 gigs of used data
All right, damn.
for the month.
Wow.
Just absurd. And I was like, how did
The thing.
I had him until last Thursday. So, and I probably checked out on last Tuesday. And so that's like halfway through the month, and he's
Yeah.
pushing a terabyte of data.
What pisses me
It's
off
insane.
is
Yeah.
I'll find him like.
But he's watching shows and shit on it too, though, right?
All the time.
Yeah. So.
He listens to The Simpsons. He listens to YouTube. He's always got something playing into his fucking headphones.
See, like, yeah, he'll be putting away laundry, and he's got something going on his phone, and it's like, dude,
Stop it.
Just stop. It's 3 minutes. You don't need.
I came out to-
You don't need that going in your ear at all times. At all, it's just like, dude, just fucking turn it off for 5 fucking minutes and put your laundry away, and then go watch TV.
I know.
I came out.
And then I think about it, and I'm like, I didn't like it when people hassled me when I was that age, and it didn't cause me any problems that I know of. But maybe it's just like, fuck it.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
makes it.
Especially
It's
if it
a
keeps them from
it's a
complaining.
pick your battle thing, because you just, like, every time, like, I got
Old
in a
people say that
big,
all the time.
I got in a big back and forth with Wyatt the other day. That had I just fucking, like, let it go, it would have been better for everybody. But it just
Yeah.
became this big fucking blow up. I don't even remember what it was about now. Well, I kind of do, but
Yeah, you just remember you were mad at your.
but I
kid
was
for
remember
a
I was
while.
fucking mad, and it usually stems from a respect thing. Like, it's like the tone that he takes with you when he's, like, talking back.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't like that. But anyway, I walked up to him in the kitchen the other day, and he was making a pasta-roni on the stove, and he had his laptop on the cutting board. Like, the cutting board was pulled out like a desk, and he had a stool sitting in the kitchen, like, by the stove while he's
Yeah.
stirring the pasta, watching Disney's Cars on his laptop.
Now, as a dad, I totally understand why you were pissed off. But as a person, I'm like, what the fuck? Because I get pissed off about stupid shit like that too. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah, no.
Am I mad because I didn't think to pull a stool up to the stove while I was fucking turning it, or to turn a movie on my iPhone? It's like, is that why I'm upset? But I
Yeah,
totally
well,
get it, because I get upset about stuff like that too, and it doesn't make any sense.
My
Like, why am I
argument.
mad?
My argument
Right.
that I always use with Matthew in situations like that is, you need to do a better job of learning how to handle being bored, because adult life carries with it a fucking inordinate amount of time of boredom. And you know what? Oh, it's slow at work, so I'm going to watch my phone. You're fired.
Yeah.
Like, you need to learn
You need
those
to learn how to
coping
pretend
skills.
like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or at least be okay with doing nothing.
And another thing, like while you're cooking,
go to the doctor's office.
Just be in the moment
Don't bring
of
your
cooking
phone.
stuff.
Right.
Like be mindful of what you're doing.
I'll have my phone if I'm
Live in the moment.
using my phone to help me with a recipe or something like that. But I know why it bothered me, because I bought that computer and I was worried that he would spill something on the computer.
It was full.
That's why
data.
it bothered me, and that's where I'm like,
At least you can identify why it bugs you. Like it to me, I think it would be he's sitting on a stool while he's cooking, and
well, that bothered me too.
I didn't think of that. I never thought about bringing a stool into the kitchen when you're standing there like a happy ass idiot stirring a pot. Like, why not sit down?
But see, and then see,
I'm
then
aggravated. I didn't think about it. I'm mad at your son because I didn't think of that.
then the asshole in me comes
then he
out
won't
and
put
I'm
the
just
stool
like,
away.
Really? You can't. You got to be sitting down. You can't just fucking stand there for 3 minutes. Like, really? Just fucking stand there.
Yeah.
That's what
Like-
I end up doing.
And there's
I'm
that.
like, you
and
can't
that
just.
doesn't like that's a totally impractical anger.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but I totally understand it. So many of these things I understand, but I don't. I get that they don't make any difference. Like there's nothing wrong with them sitting down when they can sit down, because there's a whole bunch of your life where you can't sit down.
Right. Speaking of when Nicole and I volunteered at the Elks on Friday, and we dishwashed, and we were waiting for fucking dishes to come in.
That thing sprays so fucking hard.
Yeah. We were waiting for
I want one for the backyard.
stuff to come in. And so we were sitting out talking with Brian. And then I was sending my son a text, and then he goes, are you bringing home food? Implying that he wanted me to pick up like McDonald's or some shit on the way home. And I started typing, no, you're on your own. And then but before I hit send, we went back into the kitchen to work, and I put my phone in my pocket, and then I worked as a volunteer for free. But I had it in my, I'm like, I can't take my phone out and mess with my phone right now.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I'm like,
yep,
nope, not a good time for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just worked.
Yeah.
But it felt kind of awesome to do that real brain dead application of work. Like there's nothing, like not a whole lot in the thought process goes into
it's
being a dishwasher.
It's
Right? It was like my first
transcendental
job.
meditation.
And so I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. It's like a full on release.
And then you have other people filling that bucket up by being like, you're doing awesome, you're doing great. And
fuck yeah. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been walking around there in the kind of floater role that I play whenever we have a big event, and people are like, this place would sink without you. And I'm like, I don't agree, but thank you. like
yeah, Carol pays a lot of nice compliments too.
Does she?
Yeah.
She hates me.
She doesn't like you, huh?
No, because I don't agree with her on anything. She's a big vaxxer, and I'm just absolutely not. I think it's a mistake to just blindly trust what the news tells you. And she was raised by Walter Cronkite.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, I can trust these people. You can't. You cannot trust anybody in the media for any reason since well before Carol was born, I'm sure. But yeah, she doesn't.
That's funny.
I pissed her off this morning at coffee because I was like, people shutting themselves indoors over a 99.8% survival rate virus. Fuck you. I was mad. I don't get mad about much, but I hate seeing people be scared of inane shit. Nothing. And I know exactly where it comes from. It comes from grandma. Because she's scared of everything. The
that
dark,
makes sense.
crickets, fucking sun farts. Like, no matter what it is, she's existentially frightened at all times. And I'm sure it's why I'm so anti-fear.
We're living for it right now, though, because if you turn on the news, if you watch any regular media outlet, you watch ABC, for example, is the one I would turn on regularly just because it's for noise, basically, as I fall asleep. But it's always like a fucking panic attack with everything. And it's like, and now they've got the Delta variant to kind of hang on to. But before that, it was like, get your kids vaccinated, get your kids vaccinated. People aren't vaccinating their kids. It's going to be dire straits. We're not vaccinating your kids.
Die.
And
several cities are going back to enforcing mask mandates. And
now the CDC's come out with their new guidance. And
I
don't know. I think
I haven't hated this. I haven't hated the popular train of thought this much in our country since post 9/11.
Oh yeah, when everybody was like
when everybody was the most
patriot
patriotic person you've ever met in your life.
God, yeah.
You know, that kind of shit.
God, and that drizzling shit hasn't quit running down our patriotic leg either. Like, oh my God, everybody, and it's so fake. That saccharine love of country.
Mhm.
Like, you know what? I do love America, every bit of it.
At the campground,
God
people
damn it.
go and put their flags up.
Yeah.
At the campsite.
Yeah.
It's like,
where did that
we're
shit
in
come
America
from?
now?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize it.
Thanks
All
for
this
putting your
fucking
flag up
freedom
so that
of
I
me
can
walking
identify
around my boxer shorts outside my trailer.
all
didn't
the
let
all
me
the
know
people
I
you
was-
see on their boats going up and down the Snake with their, they've got an American flag sticker or an American flag flying from the one end and a Trump flag flying from the other end.
And I'm all for America, but also just like
But
not to that extent.
Is that? I think jingoism is the word.
Yep.
When you're so tied to your national identity, like I
It's
don't know.
unhealthy.
I was in the military for a decade, so don't bark at me about patriotism.
Right.
With your fake. Oh, I support the troops. Do you? Like, why?
What do you do to support the troops?
Vocally? Okay, that's fine. You support away, but your kid's not going to join.
Right.
You're not going to jump out there.
Well, that's too dangerous. That's for a dumb guy.
That's for these people or those people. But some of the smartest people I ever met were in the army.
Right.
And I don't know. The whole fake patriotism thing really, really fucking bugs me.
Mm.
And
I think it would, even if you weren't post service. I just think
it's always bothered me.
Oh,
It's just like it's like those people that for an hour on Sundays they're all about their religion, and the rest of the week they're shitbags.
They're shit.
It's like
people.
this doesn't make sense. Or they bark about this or that or the other, and they don't do anything to help any other people. It's just it's sick. It's like people wanting the government to control everything. No, back off. I got a call today.
I worry
from
about
some
those
fucking
people as
survey
much as I
company.
worry about the ones that are like, down with all government, all taxation is theft. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, no, you realize we need structure, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, but I don't.
It can't be fucking Mad Max.
I think anything above
if you really want
the
anarchy,
local level is off, because you cannot tell me that what I need is the same as what somebody in New York City needs.
No, and that's we were discussing.
We
it. I
talked
was
about this.
listening
We
to
should
the
be running
episode
like
with-
villages. Yeah.
The episode that we had with Jeff here just recently. Yeah. Don't get involved in anything outside of your local government, because it's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, because 37 of 39 sheriffs in Washington signed a thing like, we're not going door to door to take your guns. I don't care what Governor Snotnose says. We're not coming. Like, oh, good on you guys.
Yep.
Like, maybe Washington's okay. There's two shitty counties, and one of them is King County. The other one's probably Spokane County. If I had to pick, it's probably those two. And it
And
doesn't make any
so
sense.
how is that going to happen though? Like if that went into law where they're going to take away your firearms, how is that actually going to happen?
Well, in Washington, apparently it's not, because the sheriffs won't do it, and the way it's set up, the sheriff is the highest law enforcement.
Well, has that even been made a law though?
I think Washington had something pass
Where they
which
wanted to
struck these people like, this is not constitutional, and
Oh,
we're
okay.
sworn to defend and protect the Constitution. Therefore, we will not enforce this legislation. I don't know if it passed or not, but it might have been preemptive before it went before.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't follow Washington politics that much. It happened to come across my Facebook feed, and I saw the 37 pictures of, there's the sheriff, and then there's the letter that he's signing in the picture.
They'll get like 2 people to give up their guns, and then as soon as that happens, it's going to be a fucking all-out war.
I don't think it'll ever get that far.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're not going to take
I
any
don't
guns
either.
away.
No, not.
It's not.
The fucking figurehead's going to bark this and bark that, and then nothing's going to
It's
happen.
just. It's all a fucking puppet show, just for fucking
Well, and they rely
Fucking
on
stuff,
people
fucking
assuming that this executive order is a law. It's not. It just isn't.
Well, and they
Like it's a suggestion until the legislative branch passes it,
Right.
and even then, like it has to be enforced by the people who are on the ground. Who, you're 50-50 on that.
correct me if I'm wrong here, but our country is not one and doesn't have a displayed history of any kind of real radical change in any way, shape, or form.
Not since the 60s,
like
probably 60s.
even the
70s,
civil
the last
rights
one.
movement and the suffrage movement. And,
You watch all
That
like
shit
those,
took years.
those kind of things. Like I said,
And
it's
it's
not
all-
a radical change. It's something that takes place over decades, and you still
there's still
don't
shit
want to be a
baked.
black
There's
guy
still
in this country.
shit baked into
Like, and that was
everything.
how many decades ago?
Yeah.
They're not just. It's not just going to be like, well, everyone will always remember the year 2022 because it was the way they took away the year they took away all our guns. Like, no,
Right.
it's not.
2001 was a
gonna-
huge shift because
you're not
they
just gonna
crashed some
wake up.
planes into some buildings.
Mhm.
That was a huge shift. And there is definitely a pre and post 9/11 world.
Oh, very much so.
And I think
But look
2020
how much
was another year
much
like that.
the TSA got pushed back on the way things got stricter with like getting
And
on
that's-
planes and stuff,
I
and
know,
how
you
much
still have to
even-
put
and
your
that's-
shoes
and
off
that's
because that
re-
dude tried to light some C4 in his shoe.
yeah.
Both examples that you give with the 2020 with COVID and then 2001 with the terrorist attacks, they're reactionary. They're
And there is
this
no
happened. Holy fuck! So we've got to make these changes. There any kind of institutional changes that they try to introduce, something like taking away your guns. Look at how many kids get shot up in schools and how many people get shot up randomly,
but
and they still don't take the guns away.
they
Right.
can't though.
Well,
Like none of those guns were obtained legally.
well, yeah.
When's the
there's-
last time
there's
a
that.
big shooting was done with legally obtained firearms? Probably not. I mean, if you really look at it,
I'd be
most of those
interested to
people
know,
wouldn't have
yeah.
passed a background check had
No.
they bought them somewhere other than a private sale
Or from their
or,
mom.
or stole it
yeah,
from somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I hate to shit on the anti-gun people, but look at Chicago, tightest gun laws in the country, and people are murdered there by the hundreds every week.
Constantly. Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
You can't sign a piece of paper and expect people to follow it.
No.
And the people who do follow it are just fucked. Like you do absolutely everything exactly right, and then somebody somewhere has a full list of what you have in your house. No thanks. I'll just not buy guns.
Yep. I'm totally like I love shooting guns and I fully support the Second Amendment, but I don't know. I don't own any.
Yeah.
If I do own any later in life, it'll be because they were gifted hand-me-downs from my parents after they pass away, and I'll use them
Responsibly.
Yeah, we own several.
I mean, yeah,
they're all put away, and
Yeah.
we take them when we take them out. They're all used responsibly. I
like
don't own
to,
any.
I like to go trap shooting and stuff like that. But
I don't own any
care
like
about it passionately enough.
semi-automatic
Yeah.
guns. All of mine are rifles and
Yeah.
22s and shit.
Yeah.
I've
If I
got-
buy anything again, it'll be a revolver, and I might get a lever action rifle. But I love shooting both of those. Like if I won the lottery or one of those, like here's $5,000 a week, I would completely invest myself in cowboy shooting because I think it's the coolest thing in the whole world.
No.
It's absolutely awesome to watch. It's fun to do. Like I remember back when I still had some, I'd go out to this outdoor range and I would draw and fire as quickly as I could, as far as I could. And it's an absolute blast and
Yeah.
I'm good at it.
I can imagine that being fun.
I
It's
don't
the same
know.
reason why I like trap shooting.
Like you look at
shooting moving targets. You don't just hang a piece of paper on a fucking tree and then go shoot holes in it. And there's
even that's okay.
it is, but that is pale in comparison to like something like draw and firing, like you're describing, or
like I took a Pringles can and drew and fired as fast as I could, and I managed to hit Mr. Pringle right in the cheek. I was like, that's all right. I like that. I like that. And but ammo's so expensive now.
Oof,
you don't
boy,
want
howdy.
to go out and practice.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most key thing.
Most important part
what
of
you
it.
probably ought to do.
Yeah.
And because it's perishable, I
Yeah.
couldn't do that shit now. That was after going out every other weekend for a couple hours at a time and practicing.
Yeah.
But now, nope, I probably couldn't even hit the side of that door there. I mean, it wouldn't take long for some of it to come back enough that I could shoot again. But
It's like riding a bike.
But yeah, I don't know. It's one of the
Muscle
the
memory
few
kinda feel.
activities that I really truly enjoy. But it's just gotten to the point where it's so expensive that I can't support that habit, especially since my buddy doesn't work at the ammo factory anymore. That was nice,
dude. But even for the brief time right around Christmas when I went back to work there, they don't have anything available for you to buy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Is it that bad now?
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, that's been years.
They'd give you heads ups in the startup meeting, be like, "There's going to be 5 available cases of 9mm coming on either next Wednesday or Thursday," and it's like
People buy that shit up so fast that you can't even keep up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what?
I
don't have to pay for bullets on Destiny. I'll go shoot on Destiny.
I didn't buy any while I worked there because the majority of the time there wasn't any available to buy because they're so far fucking behind on their orders and stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah, one of the guys during the little like 3-day training shit that you got to do or whatever said that this was December of 2020. And he said that they could completely stop taking orders, not fulfill, nobody else can buy any stuff from us until we finish making what we have sold promised. And he said that he still would have been able to run all shifts for the next year to almost year and a half.
Wow.
They're that far behind.
It's crazy.
It's a whole lot of fucking, and then you go work there and you see how many rounds you're making while you're working. And you're like, holy fuck! And they need all this.
Where are all these?
Where's it all going?
What are they doing?
So
with all
many
these
bullets. So many bullets. Like so many.
Like we used to have range.
I bet you could
weeks.
go on YouTube and find out where a lot of the bullets are going.
Yeah.
Or any just video.
But yeah, we'd have a range week, and everybody would put 300 or 400 rounds down a day.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's where it went.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking like.
And this is not even what you guys were making.
It would be a cause to celebrate because it wasn't something that really, I mean, it only happened a handful of times in the short amount of time that I was working there. But if you and the people on your line hit 1 million rounds for your shift, which is a 12-hour shift, and that's just one 12-hour shift, one day, and that's 1 million rounds.
Jesus.
And that's admittedly, again, that's a good day, but still an average day, you're looking at 700,000.
Yeah.
750,000. That's a whole fuck lot of rounds.
Yeah.
Where are they all going?
Chicago.
The boys in blue.
Chicago. They're all going to Chicago.
The boys in blue. They're all going to Chicago. Shoot meth heads.
Sometimes you wonder how that would go. Like if we went to a Judge Dredd style law enforcement and like you come across a person smoking meth, you just shoot them in the fucking head. Like, goodbye. I wonder how that would go over. I wonder if it would deter crime or if it would make crime worse.
Well,
here's a question. Could you live in a lawless world? I know for me, I'd be dead because I'd pipe off to somebody that would.
I would be someone's
shoot me.
victim.
Yeah, someone would kill me.
I would be someone's
argue
victim.
with somebody that would just be like, okay, we're done.
I don't know if it would be as bad as it's made to seem. Like people always take the word anarchy and pipe it out as like, oh, it's going to be this Mad Max. Everybody's going to be wearing tires on their shoulders and keeping 800 pregnant wives while they keep everybody else away from the source of water. I don't know. Like How
but
often during the day are you like, well, shit, I'm not going to do this because the law says I'm not supposed to?
See, I
Like,
think there's a lot of
speeding
people who
is probably the only law that I really
the thing-
break. On
I think it's
regular
I think
basis.
it's going to amplify. It would amplify things because like you just like think of like the amount of road rage incidents there are in it a day across the country, and then all of a sudden we take out the law factor, and then that is going to.
I wonder if they quietly
amplify.
just quit enforcing it. What would happen? Not
if they didn't make a big deal out of it and they just kind of slowly phased it out.
If they just took some laws off the books that aren't even, there's not even a point of having them. I mean, would we all drive like maniacs if there weren't traffic laws? If you look at those countries that don't even paint lines on the streets or tell you which direction you should go, and
some of those traffic things and those like
they
and
cars
it
are
works
just, like,
out.
They adapt. They're terrifying, but they adapt.
Yeah.
I think that there are a lot more people who, between fear of reprisal of, like law enforcement or getting in trouble with the law, combined with the public perception of the, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want the stigma
to be looked poorly upon.
If you took away those constructs, I think there would be a lot more guys with makeshift harems than you really would want to believe that there would be. Because I think there are a lot of those people who, like you said, if they took away speeding laws and stuff like that, would we all just drive like madmen? No, not all of us. But I think there is
enough
alarming.
would. Yeah.
I think there's an alarming number of people that would.
In the 90s, Montana
And-
did away with their speed limit, and they had to bring it back because it was so heavily abused.
And then you'd get somebody like Ward or I who were like, dude, I get that there's not fucking traffic laws anymore, but do you really need to drive like that?
Right.
Bam.
Yeah. But also you would get people who would be like, you just drove like a maniac. I'm going to follow you home and bam. I think, and I don't think there will ever be a fully lawless society.
No.
Like there is no such thing as actual
that
anarchy.
but what I'm saying is that stuff happens now, but think of it on a lawless scale.
Yeah.
Where it's just going to be like,
But
there's people that are
it'd just
you would form like enclaves would form of people who enforced certain things.
Mhm.
It just wouldn't be on a grand scale. Like if you're in this neighborhood, this is what we believe.
Right.
And so like I would come up here and kill your neighbors and on every side, and then Ron could move into a house and I could move into one, and we would just get along. Like, cause you're not going to drive like a fucking maniac.
Yeah, you're going to find like-minded.
You would find like-minded people.
And people would end up defending it, and it would just redraw the map is all I think it would do.
Mhm.
Because laws would spring up.
We gerrymander ourselves.
Laws would spring up because you would have, well, there's a collective of.
That's not how you behave here.
We're not okay with that kind of behavior. If you want to act like that, you need to go on over to
rip on.
I think, well, much like the cities where they've defunded the police.
If you want to be.
Like you look at Portland, you look at Seattle, these places where they're like, defund the police. And so they were like, okay. And, certain things have piped up and people are like, oh, fuck, we need the cops. I didn't realize the cops. But I think that's a phase, and it will phase out because, the criminal element will kill each other and nobody will be enforcing anything. And and some of them, like Washington just did a thing, like you can't even pursue people now. If it's not a serious felony, it has to meet 4 criteria. They can't even chase a criminal. I was reading something
was that part of the thing where they instituted that there's no more no-knock warrants too?
Yeah, and that's a good thing. No-knock warrants are dangerous for everybody.
Yeah.
but this dude in a yellow dress stole a school bus, and he ended up getting apprehended 2 counties away. But they did, because of the new laws, they couldn't pursue him. And is that really bad? Because he's going to get caught eventually. He's a dude wearing a yellow dress driving a fucking school bus. He's going to get caught.
Right.
Yeah.
So why high speed pursuit?
Why?
There's a lot. Some of them
put yourselves and a lot of other people in potential danger.
That face value. I want that Demolition Man style cop. I watched that the other night, so it's in my head. But you want that cop that's gonna fucking chase that dude down the street. Like, no, I don't. I don't want high-speed chases anywhere. Anywhere. I have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at
What
the
if you
end-
come my way?
Like, the idea is awesome. Like, oh, high-speed chase shooting out the window. That's not cool.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of cowboy cops who think they can do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even here. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
chased that Leotis Bernai kid from Asotin County over to here. He went back around another bridge and came back southway, and they ended up. I mean, there were hundreds of rifle casings in the road along the route that they took, and they ended up getting him.
See,
but at what cost?
And I'd like to see, maybe not to the extent of Minority Report, where they're arresting you for things that you haven't done yet. But I as the world gets smaller and everybody's got video cameras everywhere, and you can, I would like to get to a point of just like, no, you were spotted doing such and such thing by these, and the police just show up at your house, and like they don't even try to interact with you while you're doing the illegal activity, and then they just show up with their little pad and they're like, yeah, we have video evidence of you doing this, so now you're coming with us.
Everybody's going to turn into an Iraqi then. Seriously, like I would show people footage from UAVs and they'd be like, that's not me. Like, dude, it's your fucking face. That's you. That's sitting right there. I'll hold a mirror up to you. Wasn't me. But I get it. Like,
and there's
dudes
deep fakes.
the dudes that
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, yeah.
But those dudes that killed that guy over the backpack at that house over by Albertsons,
Yeah.
they followed him from Clarkston over just Ring cameras.
Yep.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Oh.
I don't the idea that you cannot do anything at all anymore without being on video is deeply disturbing
And
to
it
me.
makes it sucky for cinema because they're never like they always have to go back in time, like tell stories from a different time.
Oh, I don't have cell
like,
service.
the Denzel Washington one, the Million Little Things or whatever it was.
The Little Things, whatever it was. Yeah. You have to start.
You got
everything has to be in the 90s.
Setting your movies in the 90s,
Yeah.
or the 80s or whatever.
And they'll have movies set in this time period, but it's not going to be. They're not going to be that.
No.
There's no suspense or mystery to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless there's some supernatural entity that stops cell phones.
Right.
Right.
Communication is not an issue you can do anymore.
No.
Because how often do you not have cell service? Not very often.
Not very often.
Not very often. And it's, there's cameras in all our pockets. There's cameras on people's fucking houses.
Satellite imagery.
I mean, it's great that they can catch those dudes that killed that other dude, but everybody involved was a shitbag, and I can't go on a walk with my dog without 100 people catching me on video.
Never realized.
That's not cool.
I know we've discussed it in the past, but I never realized how many people have those.
Yeah.
We have.
It's crazy
I know.
to me. It's
disappoints me.
fucking crazy.
I don't pay for the service though to have it.
I still won't.
I can't even have a conversation with our dad without him checking his phone 3 times to see what's going on in the alley behind his house.
I still won't even set up an Alexa in my house.
Right?
Nope. I don't. I talk to people that are like Big Brother's watching, but they'll set up all those fucking Alexas everywhere. It's like
Tori's been pushing me real hard for that.
Grandpa's talking about getting a TV that has Alexa built into it. I'm like, don't do that, man. You've already got the Google Home and the Alexa in your.
I like my convenience. Don't get me wrong.
I sent you that screenshot where I was walking. I've been walking a lot, and so then Apple sends me a thing.
Yep.
An article that I need to read.
Yeah.
But I can't read it without joining their subscription.
Without paying $10 a month. Like, nope, I don't need to know about walking that bad. Been doing it for 40 years.
It's working.
think I'm going to be okay.
Walking burns calories. Calories are bad.
Calories are essential to life, but they're bad. You got to keep it down.
I guess the pervasive amount of those Ring cameras and stuff, I guess it's more that it surprises me that it's here, because here is still such a small little hole in the wall,
and we're so behind on some
things. We're so far fucking behind on some things.
Yeah.
How the fuck does everybody have a Ring camera but we can't get a goddamn Olive Garden? Like,
we have Ring cameras because Amazon delivers to anybody, and anybody can order them, and it's not hard to wire a Ring camera.
and part of it's my
bothers
fault, but
me.
I still, there was this time period when it was right around, you were still in high school, I was in junior high,
The late 90s.
the late, that little window of like after 1995, 96, but pre 9/11, the Valley still exists in that little window of time to me for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but
And you know, you can cut into the Matrix sequels as much as you want, but in the Matrix, when they say that it's frozen at humanity's peak and it's the late 90s,
yeah,
they were right.
they were totally right.
That was
Totally
the
right.
peak of everything, and that's not just some dude who graduated high school in '99
No.
getting excited about shit. We really were.
It
You
was-
you had enough internet that you could look shit up.
Yep.
But you also had you'd go outside every once
You'd
in a
still
while
have the option to
without headphones on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude.
And
The number
not
of
long
people that
after
I see
that,
walking around with those little AirPod things is
all
I
the
also
time.
have those.
I also have those.
But I like them. But I like them for like when I'm going on my walks and stuff.
Oh,
But
I get it.
I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I
I
understand
totally
it.
understand.
I just
but some of those conveniences really conveniences
me.
turn me off.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
yeah,
the
yeah.
point where I won't.
I mean, there's shit I have that I
it's
don't.
like I said just a second ago. I like convenience, but I don't need everything to be.
I know. I want
Super
food to be
convenient.
convenient. I want
Yeah, where's my Jetsons thing
The
where
food
you just push the
Arachicycle.
button and shit comes out? That's
Or-
not literal
or
shit.
the one that
but-
you could Siri from Star Trek, where you just tell the replicator what to make. Like, I want a cup of coffee.
Mhm.
I want 4 shots of espresso in a cup, and I want it hot.
I want my
And
holodeck.
I-
That's what I really want.
Yeah,
A holodeck would be amazing.
I really,
holodeck and a
really,
replicator.
but
I don't even need a transporter.
on the same token, like that kind of technology would be genuinely dangerous because you would have
You'd essentially be able to lock yourself in a box for the rest of your life.
yeah.
And that I'd
You
be
wouldn't-
okay with.
Who needs to interact with other fucking shitty people in the world when you can control everyone that you interact with? And
That would get boring, though. I mean, you think okay, that's awesome.
Well,
But
no,
that'd
it
be
wouldn't-
okay
it
for like
wouldn't-
6 months, and
it's
then
not
you'd be
what
like,
it's
would
not
have
what
to
I
be
would want,
something
but
you-
there are so many people that would just give them the biggest heart on the. I mean,
Right.
they would,
and
they'd
that's
love
okay,
that.
because then those people wouldn't be bothering anybody else.
Just be in their little boxes.
But you think about it, and that's kind of the way things are going.
Mhm.
Like
It already is.
I
Well,
could not leave,
Wally is a very,
Yeah.
very prophetic
very,
picture.
very.
Really.
and maybe that's the goal. Maybe
That's-
that's why they want to keep these stimulants payments going.
That's
They're like, oh, people don't need
Yeah.
to work.
Oh,
'Cause
that's the.
I truly believe that not everybody needs to work anymore. It's just not necessary. And there are some people who will not.
There are
not
people that
find a
can
niche
find
to
a
fill.
way to live on hardly anything.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. Since I got my military disability, I've been a fairly productive member of society, even though I don't work.
Yeah.
And I found a spot that I can go and spend my time and end up actually helping people.
Right.
And that's cool. And I don't make a bunch of money, but I make enough to get by. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not figure that out?
Well, and I think speaking of the stimulus, the child tax credit.
Yeah.
Watching some of the people go nuts over it, how they're like, I went and I filled out the form to tell them that I don't want the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but you're gonna get the money
You get
because
the money either way.
It's
Yeah.
through the IRS.
Yeah.
So I get your argument that you don't want the money, but you're gonna get it. It's coming next year when you file your taxes
Yeah.
because you're such a good citizen. Obviously,
Well,
you're getting that money, and I took the whatever it was, the half that they're gonna pay out
That's
for
what
the
I'm
rest of the
doing.
year
Yeah.
because I already know it was 2,000 before it went up to 3,000 a kid. And I already got money back before. We already got returns before, and I still had to pay a bundle to state because
Yeah.
my state's always fucked up, and I have to pay more too.
Yeah.
But I still know. I know, even with it going up, and I take these payments every month, I'll still make money.
Mm.
Well,
when I file my taxes.
my thought was if it was broken up where you either get it a little bit every month or you get it one lump at the end of the year, I would have gone one lump at the end of the year. But this is you get a little bit and then you still get a chunk.
Yeah.
You know, they still allocate a chunk of it to your tax return at the end of the year.
I would
It's just
rather
not the
they,
full thing. And
I would rather,
so I get a little bit of extra money to live on every
Right.
month that I can, play with or do whatever I feel I want to do with.
yeah,
But
and
then at
really
the end of the year, I still get the chunk.
that half year model is actually a decent idea because you're coming into summer months.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's a nice little bonus.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then gets me into the fall, helps me with Christmas. And then,
Yeah.
I get my big lump at tax time just for the luxury of having kids. And then I can pay, for whatever other fun thing I want to do or pay down something or whatever it happens to be. But it actually, like, I didn't mind that idea, but the people that were like, well, I actually checked it. We don't actually even qualify. I'm like, well, good for fucking you.
Yeah. Well,
then I guess you're making enough money then. Shut the fuck up and go.
And
Right.
anytime the government gives money directly to people, I'm okay with it. Like, I just don't care.
What's it hurting me?
It's not going to hurt me. And half the people that get it are going to go spend it on necessities, which bully for them. I'm totally about that. Like, some people don't really need it and they'll go throw it away on something frivolous. But also, what the fuck do I care?
Who cares?
There's so many things that people are so emotional about. And I have to look at them and be like, what effect does this have?
Oh,
much
but you're
about what they
handing
spend their money on?
handing that debt to our grandchildren.
Are we?
No, we're
I
not,
mean,
because
honestly, we should just look at
our
China.
grandchildren will hand it to their grandchildren because it's just a fucking number.
It's all
just
imaginary.
It's all imaginary. Yeah, exactly.
Ever since
It's-
we went off the gold
Ben
standard, there's been
Steinhold
an unlimited
didn't
amount
Ben
of
Stein
money.
at one point say, just print more money?
Yeah, exactly. Just make more.
Because it's kind of like 30s Germany, early 30s
Yeah.
Germany.
I mean, what does it fucking
inflation
matter?
was going
Yeah.
nuts. But at the end of the day, it's all pretend. It's all
Right.
monopoly money.
Oh,
Yeah, it's only worth something because somebody says it is.
Well, that's
Which is why I push the,
our
get a
house.
garden in your back.
Our house value has gone up substantially, but
Mine went up $4,000 last week.
But if I want to get into a house of equal value,
Yeah.
I'm still going to pay. Like, the capital
Yeah.
gains is still going to go back into the same. Like, so I'll be in the same place unless I stop living in a house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or live
downsizing.
way
below
where
you are
I
now.
was. I was going to say below my means, but we're not living.
You're not living
Not
beyond
living
your means
beyond your
now.
means.
Beyond means or at means, or I don't know. Like, that's hard to quantify.
Yeah.
But
Like, are you or are you not? I don't
Right.
know. I'd have to sit down, do some paperwork.
I know I'm poor because by comparison, because we've been fit into this bracket where we're like, oh, we get money for free.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because they're like, and I felt like, okay, I'm at like I'm making okay money, but they're like, no, couples making under 150,000 a year, those guys are poor. They need an extra hand.
Man, I wouldn't even.
And
know
it's
what to
so
do
it's
with
like, then what the
$150,000 a
fuck
year.
are these people that are actually at $150,000?
What do they do with their money?
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what I would do with that kind of money. And generally speaking, that's not all that much money.
No, it isn't.
No.
But to me, it's like, man,
But that's fucking fuck money right there. That's like,
Yeah.
I read a paper once, some psychological study, and the cutoff at the time, whatever it was at the time, was like you stopped being happier getting more money after something like $73,000 a year. Like, if you're making $73,000 a year, that's as happy as money can make you. And that doesn't, I don't know how to actually come to that conclusion, even because it's been a while since I read the paper, but even at the time I was like, how does that even make sense? And I get that, like,
it doesn't really, because you
more
can
money,
still
more problems,
right.
But like that's the level you need to make in order for money not to be a worry. Is
I
that
think-
what it means?
I think people really
No, I don't think so, because I think
grossly underestimate the sense of security
Oh yeah.
that comes with that amount
But-
of money.
But I don't think you know, unless you're into the generational wealth where it's like forever your family's going to be okay, like a Vanderbilt or a Rockefeller or a Rothschild, like and anything, maybe you really do stop getting happier at $73,000, and until you hit
2 million,
you hit that absurd amount of wealth. You don't really have, because there's a power shift once you hit a certain
because you're held
point.
within a certain, like, you don't have, you have the means to live, but you don't have enough means to live just to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but like,
so you're like, okay, I can hold my mortgage down. I can hold
70,000, and I'm not. I don't feel a lot of money woes.
Right,
and maybe it's because I definitely know how to live within my means. But there's nothing that my children want for, really.
I think
mean,
every
there's
people's
things they want, but their needs are all
there's
met.
a difference between wanting something and wanting for something.
And
oh, my kid,
we haven't had a hot meal in 3 days. You know,
Right.
there's a big difference between that. And,
you know,
and
God,
fuck, man,
why don't we have an Xbox Series?
Why don't we
X?
have a
Because
PS5 upstairs and downstairs?
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Well, and that's one thing that the boy has had to learn. Like, you can't always be on the cutting edge of technology because
it's expensive.
Well, and it's such a
and
waste.
Impractical, yeah.
Because in 5 years, computing power like that will be a dime a dozen.
I bought my 360. I got all wrapped up in buying my Xbox 360 like release date when it came out.
I did that in the PS2.
There's no fucking games. There's like 4 games. Maybe one of them's decent because nobody's harnessed the technology yet. Like, especially video game systems and shit. That's something you want to be on the back end of.
Oh yeah,
not the cutting edge.
With consoles, we always waited.
Perfected what to do with it.
Yeah, after the PS2, I waited because those first off the the factory floor always flawed.
Yep.
My first PS2 failed within a year, and I was the second order that I think it was EB Games Online.
I think I have a PS2 in that tote down there.
Gnarly.
Just sitting in there.
What a fantastic system that was. There were some amazing games.
Some of the best games ever made were made for that system.
But like I've cut way back on Xbox lately. Like I haven't played Destiny in a couple of weeks. And considering how much I used to play Destiny, I have 2,000 some hours into it. I used to text you guys in the chat about what was going on Destiny. and neither of you play. But it was like, you know, I did this thing solo, didn't die. It was fucking awesome. And then I all but stopped playing.
I've played some GTA 5 lately.
I love that game.
Tori and I were just sit down, have a couple shots of whiskey, or I'll bring home a bottle of sake from work or whatever. And just not enough to get, you know, hammered or anything, but just enough to get a little bit of the giggles and just, we don't do missions or anything. We just go fuck around.
Yeah. Drive around.
And
once Franklin owns that spot up
I want to try and drive backwards on the freeway, throwing sticky bombs at cars as I go, you know, like just that kind of shit. It's fun.
Yeah.
The
income thing.
I need to get.
Gotta go.
Yeah, it's
okay.
8:30. I got to be home by 9.
All righty.
But the income. Finish your.
Yeah. No. I think with everybody, I think everybody has a little bit of like, okay, I've got more money now. I've got this extra to put towards this.
Yeah.
And we made that like. We did that a little bit when we got our truck, then we got our camper, and it's like, but now we have all those payments for however long into what you think is a short time, because you're like, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. Like the camper was, I think, a 10-year fucking loan.
Yeah.
I think I switched it to an 8-year, but even that is still fucking. By the way, I think I'm gonna get. I think we've got maybe one more summer having the camper, and I think we're gonna sell it.
Pass it off.
Yeah. Because like I said, my oldest barely wants to go with us.
Yeah.
My middle one is like on the cusp of not wanting to go with us. And then my daughter, she likes it, but we can find other things to do, or we can find other ways to camp. too. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
And
or
how
we
long will
we
she
might
like it?
downgrade and get something smaller, but
2
I don't
more
know.
summers, and she might.
Right, and she might be done with it then too.
Oh wait, I'm a pretty princess, and I don't need to be in the forest because the animals don't talk to me like
Right.
they do in Disney. So it's like, well, we won't do that anymore.
Right. But yeah, so I think everybody finds a way to spend the money they have.
Yeah.
Hey,
And so-
I had the
and-
conversation with Pat Kelly, my old boss at the car dealership, when I was talking to Jeff Rowden about playing Guitar Hero, and I was like, we should play one of these nights, just have a couple beers and play. It's really fun and da da da. And Pat was talking about how I don't understand how people can spend money on video games. Doesn't make any sense to me. Just what a waste of money. And I looked at him and I said, well, Pat, you know how you like to go skiing? He goes, yeah. And I was like, I think skiing is an inordinate waste of time and money, but it's
the gas required.
It's what you do as a hobby. Is just
everybody has their different.
They all have their own little
things
thing.
that are there.
It's just why
it's all trying to escape being bored.
Yeah,
and
it's all just trying to find something to do.
And I don't know. I'm one of those dudes who can be fully okay just sitting in a room by myself.
Well, it's like the brewing the beer. I don't think initially I started working out like these bottles it cost me 40 cents or these cost 40 cents a bottle, which is fun to play with the math on that. But at the same time, it's like, but I'm spending all these hours out here.
Yeah. So is it
but I'm doing it, but it's a hobby
as an investment of.
I'm not
money,
saving money.
Like I'm making this time worth more because I'm doing this thing,
right?
Which has practical applications. It's not like you can't do other things with it.
Yeah,
and you're learning something, and that's one of the things about video games that gets me. Like there's no real benefit to it. I mean, of course, I've gotten to live through a bunch of stories that I never would have seen or heard. But at the end of the day, like I don't have a lot of practical anything.
Some of them can help with, problem solving skills and stuff like that. But no, in terms of practical knowledge, applicable things that, you can take outside of that, no, there's not.
Yeah. Like maybe I should have paid more attention to grandma gardening instead of trying to get another level done on Super Mario or the old Metal
But if
Gear
you
game.
wanted to do any of that stuff, you can find
YouTube
the means to do it.
Yeah,
I learned how to refinish my fucking sand down, refinish, and repaint all that shit on the dresser that I inherited from Grandma Donna. YouTube. I never done jack shit with furniture at all my whole life, and I watched a few different videos. I didn't just go with the first one that I watched because I wanted to see a couple of different techniques and shit like that. Talk to some of the people at Home Depot to get their input on, do you recommend using this for this or this for this, and da da da. And it's the knowledge is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's my biggest problem is seeking it out. I don't know if it's a me thing or if it's an American thing. I feel like I never have time to do anything. I always feel rushed. I always feel busy, and I always feel like, fuck, how am I going to get this done before I can get this next thing done? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my anxiety in general, but
maybe sit down someday and budget your time. Like figure out where are all my hours going? Why do I never have time to do anything?
Why do I always feel like I have no time?
Until I put it in in my forefront, as far as
feel like I'm bailing water out of
there's something
ship.
That I've been putting off for probably 2 years now. It's water sealing and staining my swing set and my steps that I built.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to do, but I'm going to have to pressure wash them,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to have to get them all. I'm going to have to prepare them before I do it, and then I have to get all this shit out and get fucking gloves on and do this whole thing.
Next month is the time.
And
to
so
do it too.
I know, and so it's just a matter of me saying this particular Saturday or this particular Sunday I'm going to do it, or but I have to forecast it out and plan it ahead of time and be like, and then also communicate it with everybody in my fucking hemisphere so they know
not to fuck with you at that time.
This is what I'm doing.
That's probably what it is.
This time
is there's other people who can constantly get a hold of you, because before we all had cell phones in our pockets,
right?
You had to call
because you can make
house
you can
and
make plans
leave a message.
to do something in your head, but then somebody else comes up with something better to do or something else to do, and you're just like, oh well, that's an easy thing I can kind of slide back to the back burner.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. And
Yeah.
so it's like I have to actually plan
Yeah.
for it.
And so do it on
I
Saturday.
hate
Like, just do it on Saturday. There's
the
no rain. Do it on
availability.
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep. Just
I'm
do
gone.
it that day.
I'm already gone. See, I already filled
I'm
that.
gone.
With,
I already filled that time.
but that's the thing is I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like
No,
Do that to yourself.
score it out. Yeah.
I have a few projects around the house that are of that nature that I'm just.
And
There was
honestly,
2 or 3 of them that I said I was going to do during my vacation, and the vacation was literally a month ago.
if
And
we don't
I
instill
still
that
haven't
in our
gotten them done.
children, then we're failing as fathers.
Oh yeah.
Like, we have to. And God, since I've had so little time with my son over the last 4 years, I've got a deficit to make up for. And some of it is just fighting him on being fucking lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why do you spend 3 hours swinging?
Right.
You know?
No, well, that's like my son is always coming up with these things where he's like, I want to do this, I want to do this, and he's 15 now, so my response is always get a job.
Yeah.
Get a job. And he had an interview at McDonald's, and then like I feel like my wife and I both feel like he kind of self-sabotaged himself because they got to him with some other interview time to select because the time that he was supposed to have got moved or canceled or was unavailable all of a sudden, and so then they sent him like a link to select another time or a thing to select another time, but he only selected one or didn't select enough, or I don't know what he did because he didn't show us what he was looking at, but he just comes down and he's like, oh, I don't know what happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, you don't know what happened.
I was 15 once too, kid.
Uh-huh.
But
Been there.
Yep.
But all right, well, that's been fun.
This
Pizza
was-
party.
Yeah. God,
All
that
the
was
love,
some
folks.
fucking good pizza.
It was.
Try Ward's
Fantastic
Pizza,
work.
folks. It's amazing. So is this beer.
Call up Eduardo's Pizza.
All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll catch you
Good night.
next time.
Eduardo.